down Main, it's a clear night. Screens glowing blue, got the facts in my headlights. Commonwealth tripping, but the truth stay calm. 𝗺cie and 𝗲𝗲, I'ma read them like Psalms. 𝗃𝗵 throwing shade from a broke down porch, but the files in my lap like a flame to a torch. I don't raise my voice, I just let the game speak. Steady with the grind while the crooked run weak. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane. I'ma shine that light on the ones bringing shame. From the courtrooms down to the city blocks, they can't hide from the truth, cause the truth don't stop. We just ride a slow grind. Midnight oil burning, pen hit the pad slow. Every word cut clean like the rims on the 6-4. From Boston to Brockton, the whispers all hum. Turtle boys riding in the reckoning gon' come. 𝗲𝗲 in the back room, 𝗺cie on the phone. Trying to twist the narrative, but they can't postpone. I'm just sipping on the facts while the city play pretend. Truth got no curfew, I'ma run it to the end. See, this ain't about fame, this about that long game. You can duck, you can weave, but the truth still call your name. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane. I'ma shine that light on the ones bringing shame. From the courtrooms down to the city blocks, they can't hide from the truth, cause the truth don't stop. We just riding slow, gliding. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane. I'ma shine that light on the ones bringing shame. From the courtrooms down to the city blocks, they can't hide from the truth, cause the truth don't stop. We just riding slow, guys. We just all down to the city blocks. We just riding slow, guys.
My name's Aidan Kearney,
known online as
Turtle Boy, and is a senior editor for
TBDailyNews.com.
They call me
Dr. Turtle Boy.
It's my preferred pronoun. Daddy.
What's up, Daddy?
Journalism Jesus. 𝗃𝗵 Kearney.
The one and only Turtle Boy.
Turtle Boy.
What's up, Slick?
The doctor is here.
This guy's a bad motherfucker.
That's right, the intro.
I've broken a lot of major stories. I've been doing it for about 11 years. I used to be a high school teacher.
Turtle Boy has changed a lot over the years. I was once a blogger, but now I'm much more accurately known as an award-winning journalist, a satirist, and an activist. Boom!
They're screaming your name here.
You're the crowd daddy.
Crazy. People either love me or hate me.
Listen, Turtle, all right?
But either way, they're watching.
Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
Stop it. I'm never gonna stop. This fight's just getting started. Now let's get this party started. Yo! What's up, peeps? Jeez, my eyes are really red, huh? Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome aboard. We're back. Good evening. Happy hump day. Welcome to my YouTube presentation. My name's Aidan Kearney. I go by a variety of nicknames, up to and including Journalism Jesus. That's my spiritual name. You can call me 𝗃𝗵 𝗧𝘂𝗍. It's my true crime name. Uncle Turtle Boy, you can call me. Old school turtle riders call me that. You used to call me Turtle Boy. A lot of people just call me Turtle Boy. Turts, Teebs, Turtle Dove, Turtle Tits. I prefer Dr. Turtle Boy because if Judd pronoun gets to be a doctor, then that's my preferred pronoun too. You can call me, what else can you call me? Daddy. For some people, that might be weird. For others, it might be like, awkward, but a lot of people find it fun, flirtatious, playful, even like sexy a little bit. Different kinds of daddy are also acceptable. You can call me, Crowd Daddy, Theater Daddy, Drama Daddy, formerly Drama Free Daddy, Saint Daddy, Mr. Media Daddy, and of course, Fridge Daddy. Because if you have a broken fridge, I'm the guy to fix it. I excel in that, actually. I'm very good at fixing fridges. They just, get fixed over and over again. I apologize for the red eyes. It has nothing to do with the chlorine. I have not been in a pool in many days, and I won't be going back in a pool for a bit either, I don't think, unfortunately. It's very problematic because I look outside and I see this very nice pool and very nice weather, and I can't go in it. So, if you guys are new here, I have been missing for a bit. You haven't seen me since Saturday. I haven't done the last 3 bus stop lives, and I wasn't going to do tonight, but I was feeling better around like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, you know what? Let's fucking do it. And I was like energized again, and then I'm not gonna lie, my ear started hurting again like 30 minutes ago, but I'm like, too late. So we'll see what happens. So don't mind me. So let's go over my health problems real quick. On Saturday night, I did the show, right? And you guys might have noticed I was like, touching my ear a lot on the show. So then I'm like, okay. And then afterwards, it was definitely like bothering me a little bit. And I woke up Sunday, right? And it was hurting a lot more. And it was hurting, like it wasn't just in my ear, it was like all the way down to like my neck. Like I was real sensitive, like right here, all the way from there to there. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And I could, when you have like water in your ear, you could just feel it, and it usually just comes out, but like it wasn't coming out right or whatever. I don't know. I'm like, okay, I've had this before. Like if you want to get your ears cleaned, whatchamacallit, Q-tips do not work. They actually make it worse. They recommend you don't do that. So whatever. Sometimes you just got to get your ears cleaned. So I go and I'm like, it was really painful, but not that painful yet. So I go to urgent care, and they take a water gun and they flush out your ear, and they shoot that shit hard, and it's got like chemicals in it and shit. So it starts fizzing, and then they have a thing on the side of your ear, and it catches any buildup. It's gross. And, I'm like, they're like, okay, cool. Problem solved. That usually fixes it, right? Wrong. That was like the beginning of my problems. So then they're like, okay, they gave me a prescription for some like eardrop antibiotics. And yeah, you'll be fine. Okay. So they gave it to me, and I tried using them that night. I went to Mansfield, and I'm like, okay, things are fine. And I got there, and it started getting like worse. I'm like, what the hell? And so then we did telehealth. I've never done that before with CVS. And I'm like, I feel like I need like oral antibiotics or something. And so they gave me a script for some oral antibiotics, got those, took those. And then I went to bed that night. And let me tell you, it was a tough night. I'm like, I was like waking up in pain the whole night. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was taking ibuprofen and Tylenol, switching off, and it just wasn't working very well. And so then Monday, I keep taking the antibiotics. I keep, taking Advil, Tylenol and ibuprofen, and going back and forth. And then like nighttime comes around, and I'm like, I am like, it was starting to hurt like a lot, to the point where it's like I've broken bones before, I've been in real pain before, and I have a pretty decent pain threshold. Nothing's hurt this much, dude. This shit was so painful. And it was like somebody was inside my ear, like stabbing me repeatedly from the inside. That's what it felt like. And it just wouldn't stop. And then it was like, I could hear my pulse. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Like, all I could hear the whole time was boom, 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 boom. And like, sometimes it would go faster. And then I'd like to try to calm down, and I could hear my pulse slowing down. Like, I could just hear my pulse. Like, that's all, like, it was pumping in my ear. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I'm like, there's no way I'm going to make it through the night Monday. I'm like, I can't, no way. So I go, and I'm like, I have to go to the ER because I don't know what else to do. So I go to the hospital in Worcester called UMass Memorial Hospital. It's where my kids were born. And I go into that ER, and it is the ghettoest ER I've ever seen in my life. And nobody speaks English. Okay. You have to like go through a metal detector. And the lady behind the counter, I'm in like pain. And like the lady behind the counter is like, got a mask on and is like Jamaican. Everybody's Jamaican. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I couldn't understand what she was saying. And I'm like, then she's like, go sit over there. And I'm like, so I go to like sit, and I'm like, it's loud as shit there. My ear hurts. Okay. And it smells like shit. And I'm like, I go up and ask her, I'm like, how long do you think it's going to be? And she's like, oh, I don't know. Like, basically, you're going to be here all night, motherfucker. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. So I left, and I went to the other hospital, St. Vincent's, down the street, which is a million times nicer. And the line was much shorter. And I go in there, and I tell them my problems, symptoms, and all that stuff. And then they go, okay. They put me in like a waiting room to wait or whatever. And I'm waiting there, and I'm like waiting. And it's like 2 hours. I'm sitting there, 2 hours, nothing. Nothing's happening. I'm just sitting there. And it's getting worse by the minute. And it's like real pain. And it was reaching a point, right, where I was like, my whole right side of my face is like numb, bro. Like numb. And I'm like talking like this. I was drooling. I found myself drooling a couple times. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, couldn't say words right. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is happening to me right now? You know? And it's like it felt like my ear was about to like explode. It's giving me headaches, pains up and down the side of my face. And I'm like, you're just sitting there for hours. And that's just that's how ERs work. Apparently you just sit there for hours in pain. Okay. And I'm like, I couldn't do it. I'm like, I could just go to urgent care and Holden by the time it opens tomorrow. I'm like, I can't deal with this. And I'm like, I'm like, you know, I'm going to advocate for myself a bit here. I'm going to say something. And so I go up to the nurse. I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain. Like, is there do you know how long it's going to be? Because it really hurts. I'm like, not shitting you here. I'm like, it fucking kills. And then she's like, I don't know. And she puts me in this room. And she's like, basically, like, you cut the line. Like, don't worry about it. Like, the PA is going to see you next. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you for listening, nurse. And nice girl. And then she puts me in there, and I'm lying on the thing, just waiting. And I'm lying down, and it's getting worse when I lie down because I can't lie on the right side because that's like fucking numb. And then I can't lie on the left side because I feel like everything's moving when I do that. And like fluids are moving around and shit. Shit was coming out of my ear. Like, I don't know what was going on. It was every time I touched it was wet. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then I'm like, so I couldn't even lie down there. So I go and I start walking around, and I'm like, I start talking to the nurse again. And I'm like, is there anything you can do? I'm like, I just need meds. I'm like, this will heal. The antibiotics will fix it after a while. But in the meantime, I'm in like insane pain and I can't function. Because it's just like, how are you supposed to function when you're in this amount of pain? Like, when you are any other type of sick, you just go to sleep, right? And then you're just better. You just sleep it off and you feel better. I can't sleep because you're just in pain. You can't sleep. Somebody stabbing you in the ear. That's what it felt like. So I'm like, okay. So I told the nurse, I'm like, is there anything you can do for meds right now? And she hooked it up, and she got it approved through a pharmacy. and she got me some oxycodone, and she's like, we're gonna get you an IV and put some medicine in through the IV. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And in the meantime, she's like, she says to me, starts making small talk, and she goes, you're not covering the 𝗵𝗃 case? And I'm like, oh, she knows. So I mean, you don't say, if she clearly knows who I am, because she's like, you're not covering the 𝗵𝗃 case? And I'm like, no, it's just too sad. I'm like, it's all messed up. And I'm like trying to make small talk with her, and I'm like in pain, but I'm like, whatever. She's let me cut the line. She has hooked me up, got me meds. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I go, yeah, I started making small talk with her. And I'm like, she used to be a nurse, right? And she's like, I know. Yeah. I'm like, you have kids? And she's like, yeah, they told me how old their kids were. They're young. And I'm like, oh, really? Well, so they're going into like, I guess the grades that they were in based on the age. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, what school district did they go to? And she's like, Woodstock. And I'm like, oh, that's next. Woodstock, Connecticut borders Dudley, which is where I taught. Okay. And at Shepherd Hill. So I'm like, oh, I used to teach in Dudley at Shepherd Hill. And she goes, I know. You were my teacher. And I'm like, what? Oh, I was? And I'm like, what was your name? And she told me her name, her first name. And then I'm like, immediately I knew her last name. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say her name, but she tells me her name and I immediately know her last name. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I'm sorry you had to see me like this. I'm like, but, she's just like, I immediately remember her. I'm like, were you 2014? Like, I always remember the grade. She's like 2015, but close. I'm like, oh, that was my last year there. So you were my last class that I had. But I'm like, it just is, you immediately remember the name. I'm like, because you don't recognize them because they're all grown up. Last time you saw them, they were 16 years old, and now they have kids and they're married and shit. And you're like, God damn, I'm old. So anyway, I waited there and the PA saw me, and she, did the meds through the IV or whatever. Within 45 minutes, they were kicking in. And for the first time, I was feeling not in constant pain. Okay. And then they wheeled me over to this, like, got a CAT scan. They wanted to do a CAT scan, make sure something wasn't like, because I was literally like drooling. Like, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It looked like I had a stroke. So they bring me in, and I had a CAT scan. Nothing was like structurally wrong. And they looked in my ear. Now, this is not like an ear specialist, so they don't really know. They're like, it doesn't look like your eardrums burst or anything like that. So that's good. But, so they gave me a prescription for some oxycodones, told me keep taking all the, the eardrops, which had steroids in it, and like the oral antibiotics, and hopefully it'll get better. Right. And so then I'm like, then they asked me, like, have you been swimming? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. It's like, and I've been going to the bottom a lot. We throw rings in there. Apparently that does that. I don't know. So anyway, but it sucks. I can't go swimming. I'm like, I see this pool out there every day. Just put more chlorine in. I can't even use it. So it's definitely like a swimming thing, So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, and I'm definitely not like 100% right now, in case you guys can't see. I'm not like, definitely like, I feel like I'm talking slower, but whatever. We're going to get it all out. Anyway, so then on Tuesday, I wake up. So I got home at like 4 a.m. and I'm like, I woke up at like 8. Mr. Better was calling me because we're like working on our case, and I'm telling him shit. And he's like, I've been up since 5 working on my stuff. He's like, wakes up at the ass crack of dawn every day and writes motions and letters and shit. And so I'm like, okay, he's sympathetic to what I'm going through, but he's like, we got work to do. Like, what are you going to do? So, Tuesday, that was yesterday, right? Tuesday. All right. So I'm like, it's all blur. Like the last couple of days, and I'm like, I basically lied down and did nothing, like, at all, like the last couple of days. Hold on, Laura's messaging me. What's this? Oh, anyway, I basically lied down and did like nothing, on Tuesday and just tried to like rest it off. And like, you would take the oxycodones and then you would start feeling it wear off. And as soon as it started wearing off, boy, you were in pain again. And then I'm running out. They didn't give me very many. And so by what's today? Wednesday? Yeah. So like I go to bed last night and there was another, like I took an oxy at like 9:00 and it didn't work. Like it was just pain, too much pain, man, too much pain. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so I take an extra drink ibuprofen, too much pain. I took another oxy. I took 2 and I'm like, I was able to fall asleep. Those wore off at like 4:30 a.m. Woke up in pain, can't go back to sleep. And you're like, Jesus Christ. I'm like running on no sleep because of this. So I'm like, I call my primary care first thing in the morning today, and they got me in touch. Yesterday, I called they're like, you got to call the ER, give me this number for an ear doctor. And like, you got to make an appointment to go see them. So I do. And they're like, yeah, next available appointment is on the 24th. I'm like, what's that going to do for me? I'm like, so I got to make it, but I'm like, it might be fixed by then. I don't know. I'm like, what am I supposed to do to the 24th? This is healthcare in America. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, can I, like, I don't know, whatever. So today I called my primary and they end up connecting me back to an ear doctor who is like, can you come in at 10? Because I'm like, I don't know what to, I go, I'm running out of oxycodones and I'm not going to make it through the night if it persists like this. Like the pain is getting worse. So I go in there to the hospital again today, met with an ear doctor, and he like looks in my ear like an actual specialist. And he's like, your ear, like I can't even see your ear canal. It is completely closed. Like nothing. It's just, he goes, the eardrops that you're putting in are not working because they can't, it's closed. Your ear's closed. So nothing is working. And so he's like, okay, we're going to do this thing. It was a wick, I think it was called. I don't know. He's like, this is going to hurt. And so it was like this, it's like, looks like cotton. It's made of a little really thin thing. And then it had a pointy thing in it. And then he like fucking pokes a hole in my ear. And I'm like, fuck, like it hurt hard. And I'm like, but he's like, now when you put the eardrops in, you're going to put it in there. The cotton's going to absorb it and it's going to go through that way. And it should start like feeling better. A candle wick. That's what it was called. And I'm like, or was it a candle wick? I don't know. It was a wick. Something called it a wick. And I'm like, okay. And so I did that. So I actually saw an ear doctor for the first time. And, because I don't want to keep taking meds and dealing with pain. I want the pain to go away. I want like the shit to get fixed. And it's got to be a way to get this shit fixed, right? And so I'm like, okay. Well, so I started to feel better around like 3 or 4. And then I'm like, let's do it. Let's do a show. So at 6:00, I'm like, let's do a show. Now it's definitely come back. I can feel my ear hurting again. So I don't know how long the show is going to last. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be okay. But either way, we'll get through it. I had no idea ear infections were like this big a deal though. I'm like, holy, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It's horrible. Horrible, I tell you. But anyway, the grift must go on. So if you guys, anybody wants to have their messages read tonight, it did help until like 45 minutes ago. Now it's starting to hurt again, but whatever. It's still in my ear. So whatever. So anyway, hopefully it'll get fixed. We'll see how tonight goes. I do feel better. So, whatever. The headphones aren't helping. You guys don't think? You don't think? Yeah. Actually, does that help? And what about that? Does that work? Hold on. I guess I don't really need the help. I kind of like the headphones though. The headphones are cool. But actually, you're right. I can't do it. It's fucking hurting too much. You're right. I think that's part of the problem. All right. Anyway, so there we go. All right. If anybody wants their messages read out loud to the class, the link to the turtle chat is at the bottom of the chat, or you can cash at me at $Uncle�turtleBoy, and we could do it that way. Now, also, I want to remind people that coming up Saturday, I got to get better for this. Holy shit. Saturday, we have the turtle bike ride there in Marlboro. Again, it is at the Marlboro Fishing Game at 1 Muddy Lane, Marlboro, Mass. Registration begins at 11. Kickstands up at noon. It's an hour ride. You start and finish there. There's a live band called the Wise Guys. There's food, giveaways, fun. I don't know what. There's like 50/50s. You pay cash to ride. I don't know what the fee is, but you probably should know that. But anyway, bad week to get sick. Then like, okay. And they also said that like this has been like people have threatened to protest, and we had 2 other venues cancel on us for this, I guess. And but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's crazy how hard we are. Now they're gonna lose their minds where we see where our next show is coming up. And we need like me, Jimmy, and Emily C are doing a show. We've already started planning it out. It is going to be so good. I am so excited about the venue. It is going to be so dope. It's at a great time. And I can't wait. I can't wait. And what's cool about the 3 of us that Jimmy pointed out today is like all 3 of us were former teachers, all of us, right? And so I don't know what we're going to call the show, the bad kids, maybe, or something like that. Although Emily would be like one of the good kids. Me and Jimmy would probably be bad, but like, it's going to be a really cool theater. You're going to love it. I hope to see a lot of you there. I'm going to give you a couple months warning. So you'll have plenty of time, but we hope to have tickets on sale within the next week. That is the plan. Maybe by the end of this week, maybe by Friday. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? And I'm so pumped for this show, man. And I hope to see a lot of you guys there. It is going to blow the Wilbur out of the water. Wilbur is cool. But that was our first show. This is our second show. And this is going to be better because anyone who went to the first show remembers where they were for the first show. It was so good, right? And it was so much fun. The atmosphere was alive, it was electric, and this one's going to be even bigger. Okay. You get a couple months notice. If anybody wants to if you want to fly in, people like that, they need time. There will be VIP tickets. I think we're going to sell 100. I think 19 of them are we're going to save for VIP, which again will be, the meet and greet. We're going to have like 5 tiers of tickets for this. Based on, you'll see the theater. It's fucking crazy, this theater. And, man, it's going to be fun. So hope to see a lot of you guys there for that. By the way, it's $25 for a rider, $15 for a passenger, $10 to just walk in and hang out. That's what it is for the bike ride this weekend. So when is it? I'm going to announce it when they go on sale. Because I don't want these, they're going to try to cancel this. They're going to try. They're going to be like, he's a bad person. It's just not going to work. What are they going to say? They tried to get me kicked off Timcast, but this place is not going to give in. I'm telling you right now, they ain't going to give in. So they could try all they want. Timcast was weak. He ultimately, Timcast gave in. Did that help me in the end? I think definitely that built my street cred. And I think it's kind of more interesting the way it happened, flying all the way down there and getting canceled like that. But at the end of the day, he did give in. He did give in to censorship. It's kind of undeniable. But is what it is. Okay. All right. Let me see if we have any turtle chats here. Hold on. Red Sox are getting killed again. That's 5 in a row. What the hell happened to them? Jesus Christ. All right. Today is August 12th, right? Okay. All right. We have Kira sends $10 and goes, feel better soon. Thanks, Kira. I appreciate that. We'll try to do that. Do we have any other ones here? Let's see. Any cash apps? Hold on. Yeah, we got Megan sends $20 and goes, feel better, Dr. Turtle Dove. Well, thank you so much, Megan. And holy shit, this is earlier today. This is at noon. Shout out to 𝗻𝗇𝗺𝗀𝗃𝗧𝗃. Sends $500 and goes, feel better soon. We got turtles to free. Amy. That's so sweet of you, Emily. I mean, Emily. Amy. Sorry, I'm like fucked up. I'm fucked up. But thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that. It's very generous of you. So thank you so much for that. That's very cool of you. So if anyone else wants their messages read out loud to the class tonight, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle, at the bottom rather, for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy, like Jacqueline just gave 5 and goes, fill a sock with salt. Oh God. And tie a knot in a microwave for 30 seconds and hold it to your ear. Okay. Helps. Okay. Can I just put in a special request? I don't need anyone's tips. I appreciate this all. I know it comes from a good place. I just don't want you to waste your time. I'm getting so many messages about like, here's what you can do. Try doing this. Just, I got it. I have doctors. Like, we're good. I'm good. Trust me. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Your mom's recipe worked for you. That's swell. I'm really happy for you, but I'm on it. I'm on it. It's very nice of you. It's very nice of you. Very thoughtful of you to do that. But I'm good. I'm good. Again, it's the thought that counts. I know, but I'm probably not going to do what you say. So thanks. Okay. All right. Anyway, fuck doctors. Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's talk real quick about, I want to talk about the Lindsay Clancy thing because it's getting out of control. I've watched it. I only watched it on Melanie's channel, and watching anything with Melanie Little is like, you're getting a different version of it. You're getting like it's like watching the home team on your favorite, watching your, I don't know, who's a commenter that's like the biggest homer, like watching Tommy Heinsohn do the Celtics. It's like, that's Melanie Little with any trial, because she picks a side. Like, she's not like, she's no doubt in favor of the defense in this trial, and she covers it. And so I do like that, because I was like empathetic to Lindsay Clancy before it was cool to be, like, from the beginning. Go back and read some of my stuff. Helena Rafferty gave me comments about that and said, like, you're doing a great job. Hold on. I got to turn this fan off because it's like fucking hurting my ear. Ooh. God damn. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I have been watching highlights of it here and there. I just can't watch it that much. It's just too heartbreaking. And it is getting, last time I complained about it, it was like boring, like Maureen Hartnett. I don't care about that, but it is getting into the much more interesting stuff, the heartbreaking stuff, etc. Obviously, Kevin Reddington's doing a great job, no doubt about it, etc. So, I was pro like empathy before it was cool to be pro empathy. Go back and watch my show on Timcast for the first one. I first went on there. That's actually the topic that I brought up, and I ranted about it, the lack of mental health awareness in this country and help that she was trying to get and all that stuff. And we're seeing it all in this trial, and you guys know way more about this than I do. Okay. But I will say this, and this is pissing me off a little bit. I don't like how when I go on social media, and it's like anyone who says that she's guilty just gets destroyed. Like, everybody who says that just gets attacked. All right. And I don't like that shit. I don't agree with that position, but I saw it today. Like, anyone who says anything like that, let me see if I can find one. Thanks. Okay. All right. So here's one take. Let me see this. So today, Dr. Stonebridge from the first trial tattoo lady, the doctor there, she came in, and by the end of her testimony, Lindsay Clancy was crying again. Like, she's cried a bunch during this. And they basically had to like exit the court and end it for the day because she was crying so much. Okay. And this is a take I see from some people on it. So I think this is Victoria Vento's account, right? Let's see. She goes, Lindsay was crying before Dr. Renee Stonebridge even walked into the courtroom. That's how I know her tears were fake. This is an all-in act to try to gain sympathy from the jurors. The judge should be throwing her out of the courtroom because she's wasting everyone's time, including the jurors. She wasn't crying when she spent 6 to 8 minutes strangling each kid until they were unresponsive. She never asked about them in the hospital. She never mentioned the kids to Patrick during the phone call. And she never spoke about them during her visit with a friend when she was in Spalding. Okay. And so everybody just like, now that's not necessarily my opinion. It's not my opinion, to be very clear. I don't agree with that statement at all, but it is an opinion. Okay. And people are allowed to feel that way. Now, I don't think it's fake. I definitely don't think that's fake. I mean, it's real. Like, why wouldn't you cry over that? She actually, those are her kids. She loved them. Like, she killed them. And like, of course you're gonna, whatever. But people are allowed to have their opinions on this. And, you know, they just get piled on. Like, anybody who says anything critical. Let's see. How about this one? She says, and this is just one person. I went on this account because it's one of the few accounts that like I see that's like critical of her. You know, women's health matters. The system failed her. Lindsay Clancy did everything she could to try to get help. Shut the F up. Everyone's mental health matters. If the table was returned and a father killed his 3 young kids and then attempted suicide and failed, he would already be rotting in prison in a cell locked down 24 hours a day. But because Lindsay Clancy is a white upper class female living in Massachusetts with a hired nanny and a fitness membership, y'all are basically praising her for killing her kids, sending her letters and postcards, telling her it's okay and trying to console her. She literally strangled them with her own bare hands. Okay. And then whenever somebody writes something like this, they just get like destroyed. Like a million people pile on them. Okay. And I just think that that's crazy to me. Like, I'm all for empathy for Lindsay Clancy. I think I think she was suffering from psychosis. And I think that she was, I don't think a loving mother just goes like does something like that unless like something takes over her brain, you know? And I totally get that, right? But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, she did kill her 3 kids. And like, it's weird. And I love Bob Mata. I just want to put that out there first. He goes, I love Bob Mata. I love him. But he tweeted today, he's like, I just want to give Lindsay Clancy a hug. And it's like, bro, it's a little much. All this stuff, it's a little much. Like, she killed her 3 kids. And I totally understand. I totally get the empathy. I totally understand where he's coming from. But she killed her 3 kids. You know? And this is from somebody who's empathetic towards her. It's just weird how you're not allowed to think that she might be a murderer. I don't agree that she's like a first-degree murderer. I don't. But she did kill her 3 kids, strangle them to death. And I think it's okay if people think that. And it's weird how people are not allowed to say that. It is weird. Like, everybody's piling on them. And it's become like anybody it's like a contest to be as sympathetic to Lindsay Clancy as possible. Like, it's weird. Like, you can have sympathy for her and still recognize that, like, there's 3 dead kids, dude. You know, there's 3 dead kids, and it's just weird. And I will say this, right? And they bring people are like, oh, like she brought up in her post there, she was like, well, if this was a man, nobody would have sympathy for them. And what's the response to that? What do people say? They go, oh, well, men can't suffer PPD, right? It's, you know, it's not the same, whatever. Okay, fine. You're right. I can't ever deal with any of that, right? I don't, like, a lot of people empathize with, who have had children, especially empathize with her, because they're like, oh, I was dealing with these thoughts and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Where was I going with this? I forgot what I was saying. Like, I was going somewhere with this. I'm like fucked up right now, but, hold on. Let's see what 𝗲𝗿𝐶 says. I think it's weird to hate any stranger on the internet about their opinion on a court case. That is weird. It's just like the anger. Mental illness is not an excuse for bad behavior. I mean, well, the men thing. Okay, so here's my thing. And this is what I tweeted out. And people are like, no, it's not the same thing. This is what I tweeted out, okay? Because this came to my mind. This, okay. So, no, not that one. This one. All right. So some kid in Acton named 17-year-old named Arjun Aravind murdered his mother and 14-year-old brother. Okay. And I read the article about him. And this is a quote. It says that the brother used 𝗵𝗵𝗆 to, quote, create fantasies, stories, kind of gothic novel of stories, asking questions, creating characters in what seemed to appear to relate to threats to his family. This is not something anyone of sound mind would do. Okay. Like, yeah, you think that the kid who killed his mother and his brother is of sound mind? No. Like, and I'm like, so I certainly hope that the people that are all rallying around Lindsay Clancy are going to rally around this kid next, right? Because like, this needs to be the new standard for every murder defendant. Is like, what was your brain like at the time? That needs to be the new standard. Did we agree you killed them, but what was your mental state like when you did it? Every single person should get that same treatment from now on. Like, that should be the new standard. Okay. That's all I'm saying. And people are like, well, men can't experience PPD, right? Men can't experience that. Yeah. Well, we can experience PTSD. So the next time some guy, some Iraq war veteran who saw his buddy's limbs get chopped off, comes back home and doesn't get the treatment that he needs, and he goes out and he kills his girlfriend or something like that, I hope you guys go give him a hug too. Something like that. Because there is a lot of gender bias here when it comes to this shit, in my opinion. And people are like, no, that's not the same. No, bitch, it is the same. There's no special rules for women when it comes to murder. Okay? Stop with that shit right now. There's no special rules for women in mental health, oh, well, you have PPD, you don't understand. No, bitch. Yeah, you're right. I don't understand a 2-tier justice system where you're allowed to kill 3 of your kids because you have mental illness. Yeah, you're right. I don't understand that. I'll never understand that. You know why I won't understand that? Because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Right? And so, like, I want to see that. We'll see what happens moving forward. We'll see what happens moving forward. I better see the same people who are talking about, oh my God, like, it is weird. Like, people are like I'm empathetic towards Lindsay Clancy. I feel sorry for her, which is weird because she killed 3 of her kids, and I feel sorry for her. Right? But it's weird. Some of you people out there are like, you look at her the same way you look at Karen Reed, but Karen Reed didn't kill anyone. And it's bizarre. It's bizarre. I don't know. That's all I'm saying to that. It's bizarre. So it's like, so, you know, some of the people who I respect, a lot of my followers, you know, they don't agree with the take, you know. Hope I'm feeling better. Thank you. Yeah. Like somebody says, these two situations are not synonymous. The kid, why aren't they synonymous? What do you know about what's in his head? How do you know they're not synonymous? Like, so that's what somebody tells me. These two situations are not synonymous. How the hell would you know? You know what's in his head? Because this whole trial, it's like we're excusing what she did because of what's in her head, right? Well, it's not her fault. It's what's in her head. Well, what do you know what's in his head? How do you know what's in his head? Look at this. Like, cool. You're wrong. You can't possibly understand. I know, because I don't have a vagina. I know. I didn't give birth to kids. You know, I'm actually right. I'm actually right. Because in the United States of America, we don't have special laws for women. Women aren't allowed to just commit murder and be like, you wouldn't understand. It's a woman thing. You don't have PPD. Sometimes we just kill kids. You know, sometimes we just have, like, you don't understand what that's like. Now, Chris Watts, I see somebody mentioned Chris Watts in the chat, is a piece of shit, right? Like, Chris Watts killed. We know what his motive was. The facts showed what his motive was. He had a girlfriend and wanted to start a new life. That's not mental illness. That's just greed and selfishness and all that stuff. You know, like Lindsay Clancy was not trying to do that. If there was evidence that Lindsay Clancy like had a boyfriend and wanted to start, okay, you'd be onto something there, you know, but it's not quite the same, right? But like, there are plenty of men out there suffering from PTSD. That's the first thing I think of is PTSD, who have seen some shit, who come back and do. One of the first people I thought of was Stephen Avery. Okay. Now, Stephen Avery is in making a murderer, right? And I believe he killed that woman. I believe that. But I believe that he was put in jail for a rape he didn't commit. And he served like how long in jail? Like 15, 20 years, some crazy amount of time. And it was all made up. And I think that time, like, I was in jail for 60 days. That shit messes you up being in jail. And I think that him being in jail for 60 days, I mean, they call that show Making a Murderer, right? I think that putting him in jail for that long made him a murderer. I do. Now, I don't know all the facts of that case, but I don't think he would have murdered that woman if he didn't do X amount of years in jail for a crime that he didn't commit. I think that messed with his head and turned him into murder. That's what I think. Right? So anyway, I mean, what are people saying? Lindsay Clancy became psychotic. She did not understand what she was doing. I mean, that's crazy. Maybe, is that true? Again, I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is that there's this like atmosphere on social media where if you don't agree with that, you do what that woman did before and be like, you're a man, you wouldn't understand. Yeah, well, that makes me actually, if you want people on your side, that's a great way not to get them to like be like, oh yeah, how about I feel however I want to feel? You know, how about that instead? Like somebody posted this meme, which was, I looked at it. I'm like, actually, it's fucked up. But it's kind of funny. Like, hold on. It was like Lindsay Clancy. Ma'am, you murdered 3 of your children. Oh, it's okay. I have psychosis. Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time. Like that seems to be I'm like this, but I'm like, I looked at this. I'm like, that's literally what people are saying online right now. It's like, oh, shut up unless you want. See, this is the problem, you bitches. See, this makes me want, like this woman right here makes me want, like I'm team Lindsay Clancy. People like her will drive me away from that. This whole, I am a woman. You don't understand. Shut up. How about you shut up? How about you shut up? I see you got a green thing. Give me $5 every month and shut up. How about you shut up? How about I'll say whatever I want? And you're literally proving my point, right? And I'm not even out here saying Lindsay Clancy's guilty. I'm not out here. I'm just pointing out that too many people are saying, shut up when you don't know the problem. How about you shut up? How about you shut up? You don't know what, you know what I mean? People are allowed to have these opinions in this country. Anyway, and it's a lot of virtue signaling too. A lot of like, oh, I'm a better person than you because I'm compassionate and you're not compassionate. Oh my God. Okay. So, oh my God. No, it's not. No, it's not what? Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, get in the hole. Exactly. So anyway, I was all of a sudden today, Matt Walsh got it real into this case today. And if you guys don't know who he is a very influential and popular conservative talking head. He works for the Daily Wire for Ben Shapiro, but he's like, he made that documentary about 4 or 5 years ago called What is a Woman, which was wicked good. Because he started the What is a Woman movement about like transgenderism. And he's like, it's the ultimate stumper. Like, what is a woman? Define it right now. Can you do that? And trying to get people to, and like the people that believe that you can just become a woman, they can't do it. They can't define it. They're like, well, it's somebody who thinks they're a woman. Okay, what do they think they are? What does that mean? What do you mean thinks they're a woman? What's the thing that they think that they are? And they can't do it. And it's a wicked good documentary. Anyway, he started getting into this today, and because this trial is really, really blown up, and it's like crazy how much it's getting, how much whatever. And so this guy though is like wicked insensitive, I guess would be the word. I don't know, like matter of fact. And he just started going off today with some of these. I'm like, oh Jesus. So I'm like, okay. He goes, we're talking about the Lindsay Clancy trial on my show today. We're talking about the Lindsay Clancy trial on my show today. I've gone deep into the rabbit hole of psychotic women on the internet who are rallying to Clancy's defense, and in some cases outright exalting and celebrating her. Is that true? I don't know if I've seen a lot of celebration, but like it is a lot of like whatever. And then after she strangled all 3 of her children to death, this case is the female equivalent of black activists defending Carmelo Anthony. Really dark stuff. There's a deep sickness in our culture. And I'm like, oh boy, because he's got 4 million followers. So I'm like, this shit's about to blow up. Okay. And then he tweets and he goes, no, is he AFK? No, he had no opinion on Kearney. He didn't even talk about Kearney. So Lindsay Clancy sent her husband out of the house, brought her kids into the basement, and then methodically strangled each one of them to death one by one. I don't care if she had PPD. See, I'm not that insensitive. I do care. I don't care how many psychotic drugs she was taking. I do. When you murder a child, let alone 3 kids, your children, you must be punished to the fullest extent of the law. Justice demands nothing less. My sympathy for your depression dries up completely the moment that you strangle your child to death. This should not be controversial. Yikes. Okay. But it's like, so you don't believe in, it sounds like what you're saying is, I don't believe in an insanity defense, right? Because isn't this just an insanity defense? I don't know. It seems like an insanity defense to me, but, and we've allowed that before too. But anyway, he goes on. People are like, she had psychosis induced by drugs described by her medical professionals. Okay, throw her doctors in jail. Fine by me, but she killed her kids. She did that. Nobody else. She must pay the price. To me, this is like a lazy and simplistic take on things. Okay. But it is what happened. Like, she did actually like kill her kids. And I feel like that's been lost in a lot with a lot of people. I don't know. Women who plead insanity are 50% more likely to be successful than men. A woman can murder her entire family, then say she was depressed, and the chances are high she'll never spend a day in prison. This happens all the time. I don't know if it does happen all the time, but okay. I mean, Susan Smith killed her kids, and I'm pretty sure she's in jail. Andrea Yates drowned 5 children in her bathtub right now. She's living in a comfortable, low-security mental health facility. And she's only there because she wants to be. She's not an outlier either. A woman was just found not guilty by reason of insanity a month ago after drowning her baby in a bathtub. I don't know anything about that. Okay. Whatever. Let's see. That's where I found the meme. I'm like, it was kind of say what you want, but that's quite literally what is happening. Like, oh, I have psychosis. Oh, you're allowed. Oh, just do whatever you want. I mean, that's basically what's happened. No, am I missing something? Is that not what happened? Is that not the argument that if you have psychosis, you can just do whatever, like you're just not, the laws aren't the same. Am I missing something here? Is that not the argument that people are making? That if you have psychosis, then you're not responsible for anything you do. That's the argument, right? Am I missing something? Okay, I am missing something. So tell me, fill me in what I'm missing. If you have psychosis, that is not the argument. Okay, what's the argument? What's the argument? What is the argument then? Tell me what the argument is. If you have psychosis, anything you do from that, yeah, bro, you said that twice, girl. You are missing something. Yeah, so are you. Arguments, words, spit it out. Tell me how you feel. Okay? So tell me this. So if the argument is that she had psychosis and from drugs and over prescriptions and all that stuff, right? Missing a lot. Yeah. You know why I'm missing a lot? Because you low IQ bitches won't fucking speak up and tell me what I'm missing. So say something. Spit it out. Use your words. Can you do that? Besides you're missing a lot? Say something. Anyway, hell, I'll do call-ins if we need to. What does this bird say? Yeah. Because I think I'm saying what a lot of people are thinking and they're like not allowed to say on the internet because it's just like the attacks on anyone who are, I'm like, so again, this is I had empathy for Lindsay Clancy before you did. Before you knew who Lindsay Clancy was, I had empathy for her, to be very clear. And I still do. Okay. But it's like this weird competition to see who has the most empathy and like you attack. I don't attack people who think she's a murderer. Like I don't. Should I start a spaces and then you can call in? Should I do that right now? Let's do a call. Let's do a spaces call in right now. I'll do it right now. I'm going to do a spaces call in. So if you want to call in and share your thoughts on this, I'm going to go live on the spaces. Okay. Start a space. Lindsay Clancy calling. All right. So I'm starting a spaces on Twitter where you can call in and you can give me your thoughts on this if you want. Because everybody in the chat's like, oh, you're missing something, but nobody wants to tell me that is. So now you can call me up and you can explain to me with how this meme is wrong. Okay? So first, all right. How do I turn the music off? Okay. All right. Hold on. Music. How do I turn the music off? Music. Turn that off. Okay. So we got one person you can ask. Let's see. Request. Mic is off. Okay. All right. First request here. Next witness. Let's see what they have to say. Hello.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing, next witness?
I'm good, thank you.
What's in your mind?
So the argument isn't was she in a psychosis. I think that has been proven, in my opinion. That what the defense is arguing is during this episode of psychosis, did Lindsay know what she was doing was against the law? That's the argument. It's not, did she kill her kids? Why did she kill her kids? It was during this psychosis, if they prove that it's psychosis, but I mean, I believe it is. But so first prove that it's psychosis that caused the murders, and then it's, did she know what she was doing at the time was illegal?
What is psychosis? I don't even know what's like. Can you educate me on that? What's psychosis?
I mean, I'm not a therapist, but from the testimony that I'm gathering is that she was on, so she asked for help. She asked for help in many different ways from many different people. She knew something was wrong with the postpartum depression. She knew her mind wasn't right. And she went to doctors to get help. And they would prescribe her meds. Well, those meds were adverse to her. So she would try other meds. And then she had other doctors trying other meds. So she had this string of antipsychotics and antidepressants. And then there's the whole question, was she bipolar? Because apparently if you're bipolar, there are certain meds you can't take because it creates a psychotic, episode, which is being, where I believe, I don't know, somebody else can speak more to it, but in my thought is that it makes you crazy. It makes you crazy. Think crazy things. Think things that wouldn't, like a normal person wouldn't think. Wanting, to harm your kids, for example, and throw yourself out a window. So she said she had auditory hallucinations at this time. I don't know if it I don't.
Who said that?
Lindsay.
But Lindsay hasn't testified.
No, well, through people she's told.
But is that's come in as testimony in this trial?
I don't know if it has yet, but it will with the defense. There's a lot of pre-trial stuff about it. Well, actually, I think it did, because today on the today they had the officer that was watching her room, who wouldn't let people in or out or whatever, and that's when Dr. 𝗍𝗄 was, through a court order, able to see her, and he's the first person she said that to, that she had auditory hallucinations. I don't think we know exactly what they said or what she heard or whatever, but it was like she couldn't control, like, what her mind was saying, she couldn't control physically. That's what her defense is.
So she could, what her mind was saying, she couldn't control physically.
Right.
So a doctor testified to that.
That's what's coming. So I know a lot of stuff from pre-trial stuff. So the defense is going to probably hammer all of that. Okay. Their experts are going to come in and talk about all of that. But I mean, I believe that's what's coming because of like pre-trial motions and stuff like that. That's what the argument is, and in part due to all the meds that she was on and off, and meds that she should have tapered off and that she just quit. Now then there's also argument out there about whether she strictly followed doctors' prescription orders.
Well, can I ask you something real quick? So suppose she gets off, right? She's found not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they just write the blueprint for every murder defendant moving forward to get how to get off charges?
No, because she doesn't go free. She will be in a psych ward, in a mental hospital.
But that's better than jail, right?
Not necessarily.
It's not. If it's not better, then why were you having this trial?
Pause. Only if you need it. If you need help mentally, I think that it's better for you than prison, because in prison you're not going to get that help. However, for a person who is not psychotic, I think a mental hospital would 100% be worse for you because they will force meds on you and that will fuck your brain up.
Okay.
In my opinion.
So you don't think, like, if this is successful and she's found not guilty of murder because of this, is this not, didn't she just write the playbook for every murder defendant moving forward?
No, because it has to be proven first.
Well, if it's proven from what she says is in her brain. Nobody knows what was in her brain besides her, right?
Right.
So it's all, won't every murder defendant moving forward just be like, I have voices in my head. They're telling me to kill things and it's not my fault.
I mean, that has happened a lot, actually. But I think that that's why you have experts and that's why you have people to testify to it. Because, yeah, you can say, hey, I did not shoot that guy with this gun in my hand while there's video of you doing it. But that doesn't mean the jury's going to believe you. You still have to go through all that, process of getting the jury to believe your story.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for the call. It's very informative. I'm going to jump on to the next one, though. Appreciate it. Thank you. You have a wonderful night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Okay. Next, we're going to go with reasonably doubtful. I think reasonably doubtful. Are you there?
Hi, TB.
How you doing?
All right, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I think that for mental health, I think one of the big things is because it's invisible and people can't see the disability, it's hard for people to understand. But I think the reason it doesn't become a blueprint for every murder defendant is because you have to prove it, as next witness was saying. But in this situation, I mean, they're having to prove it through medical records, seeking help, her journal, going back to different providers, and the medications that she was prescribed could react very differently in her brain depending on what her mental illness that wasn't properly diagnosed was. So anyway, psychosis is a disconnect from reality where you don't understand what's real or what's not. And so if she was hearing voices, she would have a very hard time, or she wouldn't be able to determine whether those voices that were telling her that this was her last chance, she had to kill the kids, they had to go to be with God so that she could also kill herself and go and be with God. If she was hearing those voices, she wouldn't be able to understand whether that was real or not.
No, don't get me wrong. I believe that's what happened. I just want to be very clear about this. I believe that voices were telling her to do that. I don't believe anyone with sound mind would do what she was doing. It makes no sense. So I'm with you guys. But like I said to the last caller, I'm like the blueprint moving forward. But so you're saying that like she couldn't have, like, the journal entries and, you know, the previous stuff that happened before the murder, like, you can't fake that. Like, that's stuff that she did weeks and months before killing the kids.
Starting, I think, in about September, she was starting to seek, professional help. And I don't think that at that point she was having psychosis, but her condition seemed to worsen. And then if they prescribed her the wrong medication, and it could actually cause psychosis.
What does psychosis do?
It really is. Makes you feel very disconnected from reality and not be able to determine what's real and what's not real. Whether or not
like you're
actually hearing something or not hearing something.
Like you're on drugs?
Yeah, like you're on drugs, or I don't know, sometimes when you're almost asleep and you're in that state between awake and sleep and you kind of hear a noise, you don't know if it's a dream or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's impossible to try and understand, I think, what it is like unless people experience it or people are professionals, because it doesn't seem possible that anything could drive a parent to do that.
Yeah, for real.
So I understand that. I understand how, I think people understand how hard it is for people to imagine that or to believe that could be anything but an intent that somebody has.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the challenge with mental health and with mental health stigma. It'd be very different if it was because of a physical disability that somebody ends up doing something. I can't think of a good example, but at the moment, it's tough. And the mental healthcare system, it's terrible. Having dealt with it myself with one of my kids, it's exactly the same. She was inpatient for, I think, up to 5 days, and they had her coloring. This woman's left her kids at home. She's trying to get help, and she's inpatient. And if you go in on a Friday, there's no psychiatrist over the weekend. Psychiatrist sees you for 15 minutes and discharges you home with ridiculous resources. And over the weekend, you're coloring and you're sitting in group therapy with.
So here's a fundamental weakness of this, though, right? And I appreciate the call. But like, if the defense is arguing that like this is a temporary thing that she had, right? Psychosis. And now she's snapped out of it, right? She's not in psychosis anymore, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So what does she need mental health treatment for?
I think she's suicidal.
Right, but I'm saying she's not the problem that led to her killing the kid. She doesn't have that problem anymore, right?
Not it.
Like she wouldn't kill the kids again, right?
I mean, I guess not. If she doesn't have psychosis anymore, she's not probably too far postpartum at this point. But, I don't know. I think I have a different opinion than others also. I do think it's odd the way that some people in chats are really, like you said before, so like the support that's being shown to her.
Yeah.
But like to me, as a mom of 3 myself, I wouldn't want to live another day.
I wouldn't either.
Prison, mental hospital, like I wouldn't. And I think, the second you have the opportunity to actually achieve what you tried to achieve that night in taking your own life, be right back at trying it again. How could you live? How could your life ever become normal?
I couldn't do it. But anyway, I'm going to take I got a bunch of other calls, so I appreciate the call. And thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye. All right. We got Joellen here. What's up, Joellen? I'm going to be quicker this time. I'm going to be quicker. I know it's a tough topic, so we got to be quick on the answers. Anyway, hello. Joellen, what's up? How are you?
Hi, I'm hanging in there. How are you?
Good, thank you. What's on your mind?
Okay, we'll be quick. So the reason that this case is so it's so sad for me is my daughter was diagnosed bipolar in 2019. She had her son 2017 she was diagnosed bipolar. 2019 she had her son. She had a 9-month-old. She was in a PPD psychosis and kept trying to kill herself. Her husband called me and said, Jessica's trying to kill herself. Come get your kid, her kids. So I went over there and I grabbed the 9-month-old and put her in the car seat. Or no, Sophia was 12 months, excuse me. Put her in the car seat. And she was freaking out. And then all of a sudden she was fine. The cops came. She told the cops, oh no, I'm fine. I'm not trying to hurt myself. My husband's just being crazy. He just wants me to leave, blah, blah, blah. So the cops left. And I was trying to convince her to go to the hospital. And we walked out to my car to where the Sophia was. And she said she put the baby in my arms and ran in the middle of the street to kill herself. And it happened that the same cop was making a U-turn and almost hit her. And they pulled over and she was screaming, I just want to die. I just want to die. And she was in a bipolar PPD psychosis. What the doctors told us was this: when you're bipolar and you're on bipolar meds, you get leveled. Your brain is level, right? When she got pregnant, she stopped taking those meds. The hormones leveled her brain, okay? She had the baby. She was nursing, so she couldn't take the bipolar meds. However, her body was not regulating itself anymore. And she had thoughts of hurting herself, hurting the children. Here's the sad thing about this, though. The minute she told us that, she spent 2 years in different hospitals, back and forth, getting stable, taking meds, getting off meds, not wanting to take meds, up and down, up and down. Her husband took her son, filed for full custody and got full custody and took her son. And to this day, she's just now in reunification therapy. She's been on meds for over 2 years. She's been fighting to see her son since that long. The family court system is horrible. And what they do to mothers is when she admitted finally that she had thoughts of hurting herself and hurting her children, they instantly cut all ties with her children. Now, I've had her daughter here since that day, and she currently lives with me. However, my daughter comes on like first day of school. She came over. She went with us first day of school. She's very active in their lives, but they live here still. And she's still fighting to see her son. So at the time that she was going through this psychosis, her brain wasn't level, and it told her things. You're better off dead. The kids are better off without you.
Okay.
If you, things like that, if you die and don't take them with you, they're going to live without a mom. And how can you do that to them? It's better if we're all dead.
Okay.
And now that she's had a lot of time between the last psychosis and postpartum depression and sobriety, like she doesn't even smoke weed or drink, she doesn't do that stuff now, right? She'll recall certain things and look in her journal where it says, the world is a better place without me, and I can't leave without my kids, right? But had she turned those in prior to the day that she tried to commit suicide, they would have instantly taken her kids and put them in DCFS custody, right? And so it's a psychosis.
So can I ask you something? So like you told me earlier on that she wanted to hurt her kids, whatever.
Yep.
And then, but you also seem to be complaining about the system that doesn't let her see her kids, right?
Right.
So then how can we complain?
Yeah. Right.
But so isn't that the system working?
So yes and no. So Jessica's been balanced on her meds for 2 years. And again, she didn't take her 8-year-old that I have by herself until a year ago. I didn't let her go out with her mom alone until a year ago. So she had 1 full year on meds, therapy, psychiatric treatment, completely sober, just all kinds of stuff, therapy once a week. And so yes and no. Yes, it's working, right? Yes, the dad said, you know what, you're not stable enough to have this baby. I'm going to take him. At the same time, when she got stable enough to at least have visitation or supervised visitation, the courts are like, yeah, no, well, actually the court said yes, but he's not compliant. It's a whole other issue. It doesn't matter. What matters is, yes, the courts protected them, but at the same time, the moms get help and they don't give them the opportunity to at least have supervised visits, right? Things like that.
Yeah. Well,
and you said it's a blueprint. It's not, because I'll tell you what, Lindsay Clancy had documented proof that she begged for help. My daughter didn't beg for help until it was too late, until I forced her. I locked her in a psych hospital 3 different times as she's screaming and being tied down to a chair. I hate your guts. I want you to die. How could you do this to me? I need to be with my kids, as they're taking her away for a 21-day hold. And as a mother, that breaks you, but it was the right thing to do.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. Very personal, but I appreciate the perspective.
Yeah, I hope you feel better.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Bye. All right. We got a bunch of people here calling in. Like, I don't know. One thing I just thought of was 𝗪𝗁 𝗵𝗂𝗧, guys. I just thought of 𝗪𝗁 𝗵𝗂𝗧 with that, right? Like, you know, we all support 𝗪𝗁 𝗵𝗂𝗧 here, right? We agree that she didn't point her gun at Officer Noonan and pull the trigger, right? You know, but we all want to see her reunified with her son, right? Like, that's a good thing. It's like, I mean, I'm just playing straw man here, but aren't they just being cautious of what happened to, like, it's like, we can't have it both ways. We can't on one hand be like, well, the system's all fucked up and takes away kids from their mom, like, you know, like Lindsay Clancy did. You know what I mean? Like, hold on. I just gotta bounce it. Hold on. How do I bounce it here? I don't know how to end it. Hold on. How do I remove? Remove. Okay. Yeah. Like, on the one hand, we can't have like, well, oh, it's fucked up. They took the kid away from the mom and whatever. It's like, but at the very least, we all agree that 𝗪𝗁 𝗵𝗂𝗧 put a gun to her head. Like, that's what we say happened. Is she tried to kill herself with her kid in the house. And we're all of the side that, like, 𝗪𝗁 should be reunited with the kid. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's obviously a tough topic, and I wanted to address this person here that said, I'm not used to seeing such a closed-minded Aidan. I disagree. This is the exact opposite of closed-minded. I'm literally taking calls in from people who disagree with me, just because I'm not sitting here and being like, oh, yeah, you know, you're totally right. I was wrong about everything. Thank you for, that's not, being open-minded doesn't mean I just hear everything you say and agree with you. It means I hear everything you say and I listen to you. And that's what I'm doing here. So, are we still Let's see. I want to take another call. Okay, another one. Oh, we got Alyssa. She's always really good. On Twitter, at least. I don't know if I've ever spoken to her.
Hello?
Hi, Alyssa. How you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So the whole concept of like the whole reason our legal system has the option to find somebody not guilty by reason of insanity is because we all agree that what they did was horrible. But when they're insane, they're not in control of their emotions. Like if somebody, you know, turns around and stabs someone in the throat because they're pissed at them, that was a choice they made. They chose to murder. But if somebody's in psychosis, they're not in control. Like Lindsay didn't, as far as from like the evidence that we've seen so far, Lindsay didn't choose to kill her kids. So then our legal system, the way it's set up, means that she's not legally or criminally responsible for what she did.
Mm-hmm. No, totally got that. That's the most
and I think,
black and white answer for.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like where I have an issue with it is it's, and I understand why people get so like emotional about it because 3 kids died in a horrific way. So I get it. Like, I don't agree with people like full on attacking and insulting people who like think that she's guilty. And I get, because I get why it's a heated topic, but I think it's hard to hold the issue that you can't, if she's psychotic, that's not her fault. Like we can see through the trial that she tried to get help a lot and she didn't get it. So sorry, my 3-year-old is fighting her time.
Don't kill him. Just kidding. No, too soon. I know.
I put all the exercise bands away.
Too soon. Just kidding.
So I think that like it's hard. You can't blame somebody. So like you can't think that somebody's not guilty because they were psychotic. So they aren't legally responsible. They weren't in control of their actions while simultaneously holding disdain or anger towards them for the action. Because it's those two ideas are they're competing. So either you believe that she's innocent, basically because she wasn't in control of herself, her mind was sick, or you believe that she purposely chose to kill her kids. Like there's really no in between, like no gray area.
Right. No, I get it. So it's a tough one, but what do you think should happen to her?
Dude, that's way above my pay grade, man.
Well, you have opinions on everything. What do you think should happen?
I honestly don't know. You'd think like, I feel like the cliche, like
someone has to decide. Is, a judge is going to have to make that decision.
Yeah, I think that's because I have no idea what her mental state is now. Like it seems like up until, last fall or the fall before she killed the kids, she was a very stable, responsible, loving person. So, and then everything, went off the rails. So it doesn't seem like she doesn't have like a lifetime history of being crazy. But I have no idea what her mental state is at now. I'd imagine that at the very least, she's got to be in psychiatric care for 5-10 years.
You heard what I said earlier to the person. I'm like, well, if this was a temporary thing that she just snapped out of, what does she need 5 or 10 years in psychiatric care for?
I don't think she needs 5 or 10 years in psychiatric care for punishment. I think she needs it to not kill herself. I think it'll be a goddamn miracle if that woman doesn't find a way to off herself.
True.
Eventually.
True.
So
all right. Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Thanks. All right. Next, we're going to take, I think Lisa has a different point of view on this. I've seen her tweets. So I'll bring her on. Let's see what she has to say. Hello, Lisa. Did we lose her? I think you're muted. You got to unmute yourself. Hey, what's happening?
I'm astounded by listening to everybody. The last person who spoke, who's crazier? Somebody who like automatically stabs somebody in the neck or meticulously plans out and is able to, murder her children.
Why do you say she planned it out?
Oh, she meticulous. Like she scheduled how long it would take. I think she had an order in which she killed the children to make it easier.
An order? Oh, you mean like which?
Yeah.
with order she did it. Yeah, and I think that she was suicidal. And in my opinion, I don't think being suicidal or psychotic necessarily means you're not guilty due to reasonable insanity. Some people can be suicidal and have like obsessive compulsive disorder and want to kill their children.
All right, so what if somebody that you knew who had kids, right? And you knew that they like loved their kids and whatever, and that they were like having some issues or whatever mentally, and then one day just boom, snapped. Because that's what all of her friends say. None of them saw it coming.
Sorry.
And so like, how would you feel if one of your friends did that?
I would have a problem with them not taking accountability at all. Like no accountability. I've seen her take none. And if she's able to like shed tears in the courtroom, then she understands the implications of what she did. And I do believe at the time of her actions, she understood the implications of what she did. And that's why she knew she had at least jump out the window.
Well, that means she understands it now. But the whole defense is that at the time, she didn't understand it, that she was in.
She understood she had to make her husband leave. She understood that her husband wasn't going to let her do it. And she left the hospital against doctor's orders. That's something people aren't talking about.
Well, didn't she want to stay there longer? Isn't that what they said? And they didn't.
No,
did I miss that?
And she's complained. They complained about her using coloring books. That's better. She's safe away from her children, and she's safe from herself. So she had to wait the weekend. The doctor wasn't there. She's privileged. She's mid-wealthy, like enough money to have Kevin Reddington. She's middle class.
Well, we don't know how much she's paying Reddington. Reddington, I'm sure, is doing this for the profile.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of these lawyers do this for the high profile nature of it all. He's rich anyway. He doesn't give a shit.
If somebody just automatically stabs somebody in the throat because they just can't, they don't know, they just do it. What's the difference really between like somebody killing somebody from anger and what she did? I don't think.
The difference is, the argument is that like one of them is, imagine somebody was like in your brain telling you to do shit. And like you,
it's not in your brain. Psychosis, you hear external voices. That's a misconception. It's an external voice. And she claims she only heard it once and never before and never after. If she's found not guilty, she'll be out in less than 3 years.
What?
Guaranteed.
No, she won't.
What do you mean?
She'll be out in 3 years?
All they have 40-day evaluation, 6 months, every 6 months. 6 months after that, she could be out in 12 months.
Wow.
Oh, yes. That's not, right. She should not be found not guilty to reasonable insanity. Right. She could, I think that they should consider her mental health when they sentence her to jail. And if she can't take jail, and if she needs a special housing unit or the med unit, and if then she's suicidal in jail, like every single other person who makes a goddamn mistake and like kills people they love, because it happens to a lot of people, but they don't get to claim psychosis.
Okay. All right.
She only had 3 months of history of so-called mental health treatment. And I didn't know she drank 5 days a week.
Wow. Anyway.
Then again, she's a middle-aged, wealthy woman. So 5 days a week, she's not an alcoholic.
All right. I got a million people on the line. I got to take more calls. But I appreciate I take all perspectives. Everyone is welcome here. This is a safe space.
Yep. We start taking our meds as prescribed and follow doctor's orders. And maybe then we wouldn't be in this situation.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate your perspective. Thank you.
Sorry.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Again, people are entitled, you know what I mean? Like everyone's entitled to their opinion. So next up here, we're going to go Angie from the chat rats. Hello, Angie. You there? I don't know about that drinking. I didn't hear about that she was drinking, but 5 nights a week.
Hey, Aidan.
Hello, Angie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I have to say I completely disagree with your last caller. I respect her opinion, but from everything I've seen in the trial, and as somebody who has had to advocate for myself as far as mental illness is concerned, Lindsay did everything she could. Patrick even went with her, like, because they kept, like, they were just medicating her.
Okay.
And he, at one point, said, "You're turning my wife into a zombie." Like, she wanted to get off of the meds. That's why she went to McLean. Like, she wanted, it's super frustrating. It's a frustrating topic.
Yeah. Agreed. All right.
And I feel bad for Patrick because, like, you know, everybody's going after him, but he tried to get his wife help too. Like, that's the other thing and he still stands by her. That's the thing that people, like, he has said in, I don't know if it was in an interview or a statement or what, but he stands by her and says that the woman that did this to our children is not the woman I fell in love with. That woman is sick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that has to say something.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
he does, but yeah, I mean, he is standing by her. So anyway, I got to take a million calls, so we're going to be quick with these, but I appreciate you coming on there. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Aidan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, let's see. Sorry, we're going to bang through these. Okay. Next up, we'll take, I've seen Danielle here for a while. Hello, Danielle. Hello, Danielle. Are you there? Hello. Gotta be quick. That's my only rule. Be ready to unmute yourself, or I'm throwing you out.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Oh, sorry. Okay, awesome. Yeah, this is such a tough subject to talk about. I feel like at the beginning of this trial, I went in thinking I was gonna feel one way, but after like hearing over the last like week or so, I feel like my opinion's changing a little bit. I work in the mental health field, so but that doesn't mean that I don't feel, you know, that this is a disgusting thing that happened. And I feel like it's like just so hard as a mother too to picture myself. I've been in really dark places in my life to even picture myself having that thought. So, but at the same time, when you were like saying like, oh, is this like a blueprint now for, you know, people to be able to utilize this? I think no, because like she has this like documented, you know, what are people gonna, you know, not a lot of people are gonna document, you know, 9 months to a couple of years of their life to go commit a murder. Maybe some. I don't know. What do you think about that? You know?
No, it's a good argument.
Yeah. And then my other thought was like she told Patrick twice, he says twice, that she wanted to harm the children. If she told him that twice, my thought is that she had that thought hundreds of times before, and she verbalized it twice, you know? And like, I feel like the doctors are the ones that should have picked up on that. Like if she said that to him twice, she probably thought that hundreds of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, cool. Thank you for the call.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Sorry, it's got to be brief on a lot of these. I feel like, you know, like the psychosis stuff was the stuff that I'm like kind of interested in. Like, I want to know, like, what is the argument for that? I do want to hear from men too. I'm like, because obviously we're hearing from a lot of women. I see a guy with the name Andyschool on it. It's a man's name. So I'm going to bring it on. I don't know if it's actually a man. We'll find out. Andy, hello.
Hi.
You're not a man.
No, it's Andrea. I just sound like a man. I spoke too long. Listen.
No.
I had a baby. Everything was fine. I had another baby. And your lips are moving. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I have my second son, and I'm home feeding my baby, nursing him. He's 8 weeks old. I'm happier than hell. I'm a nurse too. And all of a sudden, I'm like, God, this base above us in the inside of the wall, what if it falls on my baby? And then every time I started nursing, worse thoughts came in. Meanwhile, Andrea Yates had happened around that time. And I thought, oh, what a loser. She needs to go to jail, psychosis, whatever. I don't care. Send her away. Well, all of a sudden these thoughts like, and then I was like, God, what if scissors hit my baby in the head? And I'm thinking, what the hell? There's no scissors around. And I was afraid to tell anybody. So finally I told my mom, she had 5 kids. I said, Mom, did you ever have like weird thoughts while you were like nursing your baby? Because I started thinking it's got to be something with my hormones in my head. She goes, no, I had 5 kids, nothing like that. So I go to the doctor and I said, listen, something weird is happening when I'm nursing my baby. I keep thinking something's going to fall on his head. And I wasn't depressed. I was happy. And he said, oh, you're having postpartum depression, intrusive thoughts. I'm like, what the heck is that? So he knew I liked to read.
Yeah, I appreciate the life story, but I want to hear an argument.
Okay. So what I was trying to give you is the picture of how you don't understand it until it happens. It's like, whoa, it takes over. I didn't have voices or anything like that, thank God. But later in my career, I came across patients that did. And they go schizo and they hear voices and they literally, you see them talking to someone. And add that with the hormonal stuff, like the intrusive thoughts, like I was like, where is this coming from? I can only imagine that she's asking for help from all these places. And then she gets on medications that are being titrated up and down from different providers, 2 or 3 different hospital systems. I think the systems in mental health itself failed her. Do I believe that she needs to be just completely exonerated from this? No. Like she's paralyzed. She's got to live her life with this. It's horrific. But I just wanted you to understand that it's very bizarre the way it comes on. She went to get help. I didn't. I'm 62 now, so I could give a shit if anyone knows about it. Mm-hmm. It's not something to be ashamed of. But luckily, he told me to read books. He knew I liked to read. And that helped. And it just pushed the thoughts away. But it was so scary. I can only imagine how desperate she was. And all those medicines, Aidan's, coupled with the body going back to normal. Plus, she ran a marathon 2 weeks after having that last baby. Hormonally, the brain and the endocrine system are huge factors here, along with the medications. They were being titrated up and down. She was on 3 different benzodiazepines. All of these have severe side effects. She knew that. And the Seroquel also has serious side effects and causes suicidal ideation. And I just think the system failed her. And I do think that this is a nuanced case. I don't want to see her go to jail. I think she needs to go to a hospital. But okay. I do understand where you're coming from. I do.
I'm not really coming from anything. I don't know shit. That's why we're having this call on.
Well, I'm like, it seemed like people were coming at you because you weren't being as sympathetic.
My whole thing was the free speech argument that, like, I'm standing up for other people's rights to be like, she's a murderer. Like, you're allowed to think that because she did kill her 3 kids. Period.
And people don't understand. Like, I wouldn't have understood unless those thoughts, I would have been right along with people, like with the torches. If it didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have understood it. And I only had intrusive thoughts.
Well, like Emily C. here says, she goes, these calls are exactly why I think Lindsay Clancy is going to be found not guilty by reason of insanity. So many people have personal stories, and these change minds more than someone adamant that she's a monster. And she's so fucking smart. True words.
I love Emily.
Well, yeah. And so I'm telling you. Well, I appreciate the call. I'm just going to talk about this briefly. Thank you very much for calling.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Good to see you back. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I think Emily hits the nail on the head here. It's just like, the more I'm hearing these personal stories everybody's got, jurors are going to have personal stories too, right? Like, jurors are people. And everybody's got like a story. Like, that's why this is resonating with so many people, women especially. And women are going to do the most talking on this jury, because there's going to be some men on that jury that are going to be like Matt Walsh. They're going to be like, murder's murder and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to, like, tell you, some of these women, I don't think you're going to find 12. The more I hear from people about this, I don't think you're going to find 12 people that are going to say this, that she's guilty of murder. I don't, So anyway, all right, let's take some more calls here. Let's see. Lucy's, I've seen Lucy there for a while. Lucy, are you there? Hello.
Hi.
What's going on?
I'm sorry that I requested so many times. I kept on trying to find the button in case you selected me to
It's
speak.
okay. Shoot.
Okay, so to answer your question, which is I feel like only some people have, psychosis is a break from reality, right?
Okay.
And you can have psychosis and not understand right from wrong. But you can also have psychosis and understand right from wrong. It just depends on what part of reality is breaking for you. So it's not the legal question, comes down to whether or not they can prove that the person, their break from reality included not understanding right from wrong.
Correct. Isn't that what everybody's already said?
I don't think so.
No?
Because you said, isn't this just a blueprint to say, oh, I had psychosis, so now I get to go into a mental institution?
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. It's more nuanced.
How so?
Because of what I just said.
Oh.
You may understand right from wrong in your instance of psychosis.
Okay.
Or you may not. And so in Lindsay's case, they're going to have to prove that during her episode of psychosis, however long or short it was, she also didn't understand that what she was doing was wrong, was illegal. But in some cases, that's not an easy thing to do. And I think this is like the one case where it actually seems plausible.
Okay. Why does it seem plausible in this case?
Well, something that struck me the other day when we were listening to, I think it was 𝗺𝗲𝗺, is that in the messages that Lindsay sent to her.
Who's 𝗺𝗲𝗺?
Oh, sorry. She's a nurse practitioner who can also prescribe meds. And she was actually texting with Lindsay.
Okay.
So we were actually seeing Lindsay's words.
Okay.
And something that Lindsay said over and over again was that the intrusive thoughts came back again last night. And it struck me that those thoughts kept coming to her when she was alone. After the kids go to bed, after her husband is sleeping, and she's alone with her thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts of wanting to kill her kids?
Well, she did, yes, in the middle of December.
She put that in texts?
No, that's the problem. She told Patrick and her mom, and nobody told any of the doctors.
So she told Patrick verbally and her own mother that she wanted to kill the kids, but she didn't tell any doctors. People are going to argue that, like, the fact that she didn't tell her doctors that, wasn't she hiding that isn't that like?
I think that it's an intrusive thought of hurting your child can actually be common in a postpartum depression, but actually acting on it is because of psychosis is the extreme rarity. Like Melanie says, it's one or two people in every 1,000. So it's really rare.
Okay.
But for Lindsay, it seems like the pattern was she's alone and the thoughts come. And it's not beyond reasonable for me that she was alone, he left, she got scared, and then the thoughts came. Okay. And that turned into a break where she actually heard a voice that was commanding her. Okay. But maybe not,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate the call and very insightful. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Bye, Lucy.
Bye.
Oh, she was so nice. Yeah, you guys are watching. People are going over all the drugs that she's gotten, and keep in mind, I know shit about this. Like I'm very ill informed on any of this stuff. So appreciate the people calling. I'll take a few more calls here. Let's see who else we got. Okay, let's see with who have I seen there? I've seen Amy's been on there for a while. Hello, Amy. Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. So
Can you repeat what your actual question is? Because I feel like I've lost it at this point. What you want a response to exactly?
I don't even remember. I mean, it's a while.
Okay. Well, then I have a few points. Number one, a lot of people want to say that they're empaths and they have empathy for these children. But if you have empathy for these children, you would have to have empathy for, just in general, other people's pain. And the fact of the matter is, no one will ever feel as much pain as Lindsay is. That's one point. And I know there's a lot of contrary, like I know I could come up with my own against that. Number two, imagine if, say for instance, in your case, you have an earache. You're asking for help. You're getting shit doctors. Nobody's giving you the right thing. Your ear still hurts. I need more pills. This isn't working. That one isn't working. I can't wait till the 24th. I need something now. And I can't sleep. The pain's too much. I'm having, of course you're not having it, but whatever. You're having the truth of whatever her symptoms were, right? And so you're trying desperately to get help for this mental pain. And you're getting shit help, no help, trying to get different help, being disqualified for that help, giving some more shit help, some contrary drug. Like, no, that one, Zoloft's not working for it? Okay, you know what? Let's up the dose. Let's up the dose. Okay. And let's not look at any of the past shit you've ever been on. Things that, like, perhaps if you have this and it's not working, it might be that you have that. And you certainly don't want to mix this type of drug if the person's been taking that drug for a month, because it's still going to be in their system because they have a half-life of 2 weeks, yada, yada. And you get some toxic cocktail in your ear hole trying to fix a fucking earache. And you wind up losing your fucking mind and you're not even in control of yourself. And you wind up doing something horrible that you had no control over yourself for. And at the end of the day, the damage that you did, and now you've got your ear hole fixed, okay? You're all set with your ear hole. Everything's fine. And you've seen the carnage that the psychotic break that the medicine that they gave you in your ear hole that was a horrible combination caused. Who would you be most pissed off at? I would be most pissed off at the fucking healthcare system that failed her epically.
Well, you sound pissed.
Oh, I am fucking pissed. I fucking cried through tears today, okay? I'm livid. I'm fucking outraged. And I'm sad because I see that woman's pain and it's not fucking fair because the system punishes you. Well, first of all, they're lazy. You ask for help. You ask for help. You ask for help. And they give you bullshit, lollygagging answers, caca drugs, other drugs that if you take too long, you're going to get hooked and then you've seen all that shit, how that goes with people. So you don't want to get on that. And so, but then the other shit, the other drugs they give you make you feel crazy. And so you keep asking for more help and asking, like, this isn't working. And then the doctor thinks they know better. So let's double the dose. Now you're feeling double shitty and they're copping some attitude like you're shopping for medicine or some shit. Yeah. I'm telling you, they don't fucking, it's really hard to get fucking help. And so she tried her fucking, there's no way anyone could give her anything but an A+ effort. Wow. They fucking failed her. They didn't even look at what other doctors had found in the past. Wow. I get really upset, and I love you, but God damn it, I feel like you haven't watched enough of the trial to have a sassy little opinion like that, because you don't really actually know. I love you, but I'm a little irritated. I'm pissed at you right now.
What did I do?
Because I feel like you're
not. Why are you irritated with me? I'm letting you speak.
I know, I appreciate that. I love you, man. I told you that. I appreciate you letting me speak, but I'm saying some of the comments you've been making.
Like what? What comments did I make that upset you?
Lots of the comments, they're just too flippant. It's like, yes,
like
yes.
What? Like what?
Okay, like this one. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, she did murder her kids. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You got yourself a bingo. Yeah.
Is that not relevant?
No, it's relevant. It's obvious. Also,
so then what the hell's wrong with me saying that?
Everyone fucking knows that, and nobody feels that more than her. Nobody feels that more than her.
Okay, so if anybody
so what? What a simple fucking comment. Ooh, what do you think? That's some pontification you got for that one? I mean, that's
well,
obvious.
I'm sorry, but okay, a lot of what you're saying is valid, but the whole like that nobody feels as bad about it as her, that doesn't work for me, because like a lot of people kill someone and feel horrible about it.
No. Okay, yeah. People feel horrible about it a lot of times, though, because of the repercussions on them. Whereas this one,
no, there's a lot of people who kill people and are like feel horrible, like what the fuck did I just do? But they're still murderers.
Yes,
you don't think that like a lot of
yes,
people are like, I really wish I didn't do that? You don't think there's a lot of murderers out there that think like that?
Okay, to my next point. Imagine if someone slipped you a Mickey of some sort of crap that would make you turn psychotic in your food unbeknownst to you. And you're saying you feel like shit and yet nothing's happening. Pretty soon you do something horrible you don't even know you fucking did. Who would you be most mad at? Again.
The person who slipped me a Mickey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
the healthcare system.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Same with your ear hole illustration. Like, she asked for help. Okay? They gave her shit help, lazy help, bullshit help, wrong help. Bullshit. She killed her kids. Yeah. We know that. She knows that. That's no epiphany. We know she killed the fucking kids. She did it. Literally, she murdered her kids. But is she liable of murder? Is she guilty of murder? She's not fucking guilty of it. No fucking way.
Okay.
That bitch asked for way too much help.
All right, so somebody kills somebody in a drunken driving crash, right?
No, that's not the same, Aidan. Not the same.
And you don't think that you don't? But my point is,
she went out of her way for months to get help.
You're acting like Lindsay Clancy's the first person who killed their kid, killed anyone, and felt bad about it afterwards. You're acting like, to me, feeling bad about it afterwards is not relevant at all to the discussion.
No, it's not. You're right. It's not.
So that's all I'm saying.
That's not even,
to me, that's not a good defense.
I'm not saying that feeling bad about it is a defense. I'm saying that the fact that she was poisoned with a cocktail of drugs.
Yeah, that's a good argument, and that's all. That's a fair argument. But I'm saying that.
I'm not saying, oh, she feels guilty, then it's okay. No, this bitch tried to ask for help for weeks and months, and she was failed ethically, and we've had it anally dissected up one side and down the other for the past 3 days.
Okay.
There's no way you can feel any other. I'm sorry, I'm really passionate about this. It's been a hard day with
I couldn't tell.
Today, man.
I couldn't tell.
Right? I know.
Jeez. Okay.
All right, I'm done.
All right,
Next
thank
caller.
you. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yep.
Tell me how you really feel. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's take another one here. Who's been on? I've seen Kaybella has been here for a bit. Kaybella, how you doing? You put these people out of jury. She's going to be acquitted in 5 seconds. Except for Lisa. Lisa's going to be the one holdout. Hello, Kaybella, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
What's going on?
It's hard to follow that. I'm actually a mental health clinician. I've had my own practice for about 20 years.
Okay.
And so I've always been afraid to comment on this online because, like you're saying, it's extremely divisive.
Oh, yeah, you think?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we're missing, the biggest part for me, is that this wasn't, first, I've never heard of somebody with a psychotic disorder who's only heard a voice one time, one day. I've never heard of it. My brother, I'm not only a clinician, but my brother has paranoid schizophrenia. It's not something that happens one time, one day. I heard a voice, and then all of a sudden that's a hallucination. At that point, we wait and see, right? That's not, you can't diagnose somebody off of that. And I'm not saying that's her only symptom, but my main point is that I feel conflicted on is that this was not an isolated or just one day she felt crazy and did something. There are years and years and years, even after her first and second child, before she had her third child, where she was seeking mental health, like she had mental health instability. And it's one thing, to seek mental health, but it's also a different thing to accept it. And as a nurse, for her especially, because a lot of, and her and her doctors work together on this, she knows that mental health medications that you don't take it for 3 days and then go to the doctor and say, oh, I don't like the side effects, or it's not working for me, because it's very well known that it takes 4 to 8 weeks to be stabilized on a psychotropic medication. And so it is very manipulative to go in and out of medications because you're saying you don't work or you don't like the side effects, unless they're extremely severe, because the bigger question is not, do I dislike the side effects? Maybe I'm sleepy, I'm tired, I'm irritated. But the consequence of not taking it is maybe I'll kill my children. maybe I'll kill myself. What is the worst side effect? The side effect of the medication or the side effect that will happen if I don't get stable? And so there's not a perfect answer, but there is a bigger thing involved than just, I don't like how it makes me feel. I'll just dance around it. And I struggle because Lindsay, being a nurse, knows that. Like, she knows that you don't take medications. It's not working for 3 days. 3 days, it hasn't done anything. Like, the side effects you're feeling at that point are not even, you can't even attribute them to the medication generally. And so I guess it's more that I think that this was building for a very long time. And that's the point you start thinking, maybe I should not I should not be getting pregnant, because one of the callers was right. You're not supposed to take antipsychotic or mood stabilizing medications when you're pregnant. And so you get all out of whack as well. And then so you're on and off mood stabilizers and antipsychotics. Mm-hmm. And so then there's a bigger life decision to ask yourself then, what's the side effect if I don't take my medications? I may harm myself or someone else. So maybe I should take medications and not have a baby right now. And I think the problem started years ago. And like, this day was culminating. It was going to happen. Like, I do feel a lot of empathy, but at the same time, this, I feel like there was some manipulation going on with her and the doctor. Like, she purposely was changing medications all of the time. Like, the doctor should have had a lot stronger boundaries.
Sounds
Absolutely.
like you think she's guilty.
I think she is responsible. Mm-hmm. And I think she knew the difference between right and wrong at that time. But I also think she knew the difference between, like, the fact that she was, if I thought that I was going to harm my children, for, let's say, right, in my sane mind for the last 5 years, 2 years, even just 2 days, I'd be like, get me away from my children, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say, like, let's keep switching up my drugs and I'll watch my kids, and be a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I have to think bigger than that. I have to think, you know what? If I have to love my kids more than I love myself. Mm-hmm. I have to really take that into account. And I think that got lost because there was years of her feeling, I believe she felt the way she did. And I do believe a lot of moms think about harming themselves and other people. I know they do. But at what point do you sit here and you say, you know what, my children's lives are more important than my pride or than the side effects or than anything? And I think that the fact that she and nobody else did that, like 2-3 years ago.
Emily C says that she heard voices, that the Commonwealth is lying, and that Lindsay heard voices on 11/29, 12/4, and 12/15. Did you know that?
Even if that's true, that's still that is still not extreme and pervasive. Like, extreme and pervasive it's to the point where it's like, let's say you have a psychotic disorder, turtle boy, which I don't think you do. I like you. But let's say you do. I don't ask you, are you hearing voices? And I have to teach other clinicians on this. I ask you, who are your friends? Who are you talking to? Because those voices are more real than the people in the room with you who are actually there. And so if you can recognize that their voices, that is a signal that you are recognizing you are ill. Mm-hmm. Like, so if you are like in the middle of or you can recognize you're hearing voices, you are clear enough to know you are hearing voices and therefore are having a psychotic symptom. Okay. When people are in the midst of like psychosis, I could be looking at somebody in a psychotic episode, and they're talking to this other guy there that he says works for the FBI, let's say, and they're having a conversation. I'm like, who are you talking to? He's like, my buddy Joe, who works for the FBI. I'm like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, it's not a voice to them. That's a real person. That's their friend. They talk to them all the time. Right. But go tell them it's a voice. Like, go tell somebody on the street that the person they're talking to isn't there, and they'll think you're crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my thoughts.
Well, thank you for calling. Appreciate the perspective.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Hey, we listen to everyone around here. Man, people have fucking strong opinions about this. And isn't this interesting that the only people with strong opinions, so I'm seeing almost exclusively are women? Like, this is what I'm getting at here. And this is a problem for Lindsay Clancy, is that the jury's, it's going to be half men, right? And men are like me. Men, like, we're just not as into this shit as women. We're just not. I bet you Melanie Little's chat is like 98% women. For this case, it is. Whereas I bet her chat for Karen Reed was like 80% women, 75% women. The Karen Reed case men were into the Karen Reed case because a man was killed and men did it and men were involved in framing her and a woman. It was like everything, you know. This is a thing that men cannot relate to, and women have such strong feelings on it. But the problem is men are on juries too, right? And so, like, no, not all men are like you. Yeah, well, bitch, how come no men are fucking calling in right now? You answer me that. Because I'm fucking right. I am right about this. I'm just pointing out that people are like, oh, I'm just pointing out a fact. Men are not calling in. Men do not, I do not see any men out there besides Bob Mata with strong opinions on this. It is almost exclusively women who have strong opinions on this. That's just an undeniable fact out there, okay? And you can argue with me all you want. I'm right and you're wrong. That's just an undeniable fact, okay? It's like people like me aren't watching this shit. Men are not watching this. We are not watching this. There is a small fraction of viewers that are men, okay? Now, my audience is mostly women, and Melanie's audience is mostly women. But for the Lindsay Clancy case, it's even more so. It is even more so. Men are, I'm telling you, men are not watching this. Men are not getting into this. And people are like, that's not true. Bob Mata's watching. Mike Bryant, bro. Couple content creators, okay? Runkle just hates the prosecutors. Like, that's men are not as into this shit. Women, you've heard the people calling in. Women have such strong opinions about this. Men do not have strong opinions on this, right? Men are much more likely to see this black and white. I'm just telling you. That's just a fact. Men are much more likely to see this black and white because we don't have PPD, okay? We can't relate. And so we're just sitting here listening to women tell us about their personal experiences. And we're just like, and then some women say one thing, other women say another thing. And so we're sitting there. Now, lawyer, you know, yeah, because it's his fucking job. Oh, lawyer, you know, is covering this. Yeah, maybe because he's a fucking he's an online grifter like me. He has to cover this. He has no choice, right? They all cover in this. And gee, oh, the lawyer knows covers. Yeah, no shit, because that's what he does. Okay, next. All right. Let's see here. Who's been on? Sharon, I've seen for a bit. Hello, Sharon. Sharon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How's it going?
Oh, good. So I figured I would focus more on like the psychosis aspect of it because I equate you to be a little bit like my brother and his understanding of these things. And I wanted to like kind of see if there was anything I could say that would help you think about it like in the male perspective. Like there are men that have psychiatric disorders that make them hear and see things that aren't real and act in ways that are against the law, but are they at fault for that? Like it's a mental disorder. Like schizophrenia is a great example of that. My brother has a hard time understanding about our uncle who suffers from that, thinking there's no way he would ever hurt me. That's nonsense. He loves me. And it's like, he does love you when he's on his medication and he knows what reality is. Mm-hmm. But when he is off his medication, he has told me that you're the devil, and I found knives hidden around his apartment. So he is likely to just stab you out of the blue because he believes that you're the devil. You know what I mean? Like it's not, he would never do that when he's medicated, but it's part of that psychosis part of it. And men suffer from it too. It's not just, you know, obviously postpartum is a thing for women, but there's also drug-induced psychosis. There's people who are perfectly normal their whole lives. They get high, they do drugs. There's a difference between committing a crime while you're high on drugs or when you've done so many drugs for so many years that it now has developed into a psychosis in your brain, and these people are the nuts who hear and see things that aren't really there, even when they're not high, because the drugs have damaged their brains so badly. Does that make more sense to you?
No, it does. It does. The uncle, I mean, because we've all seen people like that, right? That are just completely insane like that. And then at any moment, if they're off their meds, they turn into something completely different. And I mean, that analogy makes sense. I get it. I guess people just disagree. Like, what do you think to the argument that people say, well, she planned this out? Like, she was of sound mind when she is what the prosecution's saying, that she mapped out how long he was going to be gone. She planned this all out.
I mean, I don't think that's true.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think maybe like the mapping it out, I would have to hear more details on it, which we haven't heard thus yet through the trial.
Yeah.
Because looking something up on Google to see, you know, like I pulled up Google, you know, for a restaurant, right? And it automatically pulls up the directions if you want to go there, the phone number, the website, like you choose where you want to go from there. It's just like that instance where they said, oh, so-and-so Googled on Patrick's thing about ways to commit suicide. But that wasn't true at all. He was looking up a singer that had recently died of suicide, and it automatically in the Wikipedia has a hyperlink that brought you to ways to commit suicide. Like nobody was Googling that, but it came up in the search because it was the next link in the Wikipedia about the man who killed himself.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I got a few more callers to take, but I appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sharon. Bye-bye. All right. Sorry to be so quick with some of these guys. Just want to got a bunch of people waiting. I do want to put up a poll question in the chat. My ear's starting to irritate me a little too, so I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to do this. But let me put up, I'm just curious with the poll. Start a poll. Okay. Are you male or female? I'm just curious. Male or what? 𝗃𝗄𝗃. Okay. All right. I'm just curious. What % of my listeners tonight are male or female? Go ahead and vote in the chat. Let's see what people say. I'm just curious. Gender check. Let's see what the gender check is. Let's see how the chat goes. What is female? Are you? It's just easier to write that. Okay. All right. So 300 votes are in, and 90% are male, 89 or female, 89% female. And I think that kind of proves my point. Men are tapped out. Like the audience tonight is a little bit smaller. And I think it's men who are just turning this off. That appears to be what the data is showing me right now. Like often when I do this, it's a little under 80% at the end that turn out to be female. Tonight, so far, I mean, we'll see. Let's see how the poll ends up. Right now it's 84. And I just think it's men that are tapping out of this conversation. I just think it is. So, and people are like, well, brother counsel's talking about it, and lawyer you know's talking about it, Runkle's talking about it. It's their job to talk about it. It's like what they do for a living. Asher Fish is here. That's true. Asher Fish is here. He's a dude. Okay. Anyway, let's see if there's any more call. Let's see. Okay. Actually, there is a guy. We're going to take 𝗵𝗄𝗃 G. I'm going to take 𝗵𝗄𝗃 G. See what he's got to say. He's a man. 𝗵𝗄𝗃 G. What's happening?
Yeah, hey, Turtle Dove. How you doing tonight there, buddy? How's it going?
Good. You ready for the trial coming up?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, why?
Oh, yeah. I don't think you're ready for 𝗃𝗏.
I don't know. We'll see. I've been trying to get kicked off this thing for a long time, but anyways, I wanted to talk to you about the more serious issue of a PFD.
What's that?
Postpartum depression.
Post.
Jeff Machado has that. She farts a lot online. You hear that shit?
Don't. My ear's gonna rupture. I can't. You know what's sad is I'd much rather do a roast of Jeff Machado than even talk about this case at all.
No, I just thought I would just bring some serious to the conversation and say, Jess has PFD, postpartum depression. Anyway, Turtle, that was good talking to you, buddy.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you in court, son of a bitch.
All right, thank you. And there's our first male caller, and that's what we get. But people are like, no, men care about this. My first male caller calls in. That's proving my point. I'm much more in my zone when I'm doing like a roast of Jess Machado or somebody like that. And we are going to do one. Of that. That is going to happen. But, I want to take Olivia. We got Olivia here. I want to take Olivia real quick. Olivia's in the... What's up, Olivia? Postpartum depression. Olivia, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
What's going on?
Not too much. It's been interesting hearing everyone's perspective on this. I think the thing that a lot of people are like conflating, or maybe like ultimately this comes down to the legal question of, was Lindsay Clancy substantially able to appreciate the wrongfulness of her actions in the moment of the commission of the crime? And I think it's a very emotionally charged case. But the legal question is not, was she seeking help? Did she, go to the end of the earth to seek help, to seek mental health treatment? Was she suffering? Of course, those things are supportive evidence that may help support and paint the picture that she was potentially insane in that moment. But those things are not evidence of insanity in the moment of the commission of the crime. And so that's really what has to be the focus in terms of the evidence, and I guess for the jury, because that's the question they're going to have to answer. So, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is just tragic, and I think that's why it's such a, people get so heated and passionate, and everybody has their own personal experiences. And
yeah, I mean, what do you think? Do you think she's guilty, not guilty? And how would you feel? How would you vote?
I feel very conflicted. I mean, I think that I will feel more informed after hearing the defense's full case, of course. But I can see both sides of it. I can see I can see the potential problems that, like, I don't know. It's really hard to say because it is a very emotional case, and I can see, though, like, there's a lot of people concerned about, future defendants exploiting this type of a defense, exploiting different mental defects or mental diseases to use as a defense after the fact. I'm not saying that's necessarily what's going on here, but on the other hand, if she was in psychosis at the time of the crime, then by the legal standard, she doesn't have criminal culpability. So
okay,
we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah. So anyway, thanks.
But great conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on and bringing some levity. Thank you, dear. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Feel better.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Real quick, because people keep messaging me about this and telling me, like, did you guys know Mello died and you're going to comment on it? Yeah, he died. He's dead. Do I have thoughts on that? Yes, many. Am I going to say them? No. Save that for another day. Okay? That's it. I have nothing to say about the passing of Ken Mello, but I'm just sick of people being in the chat. Like, did you hear Ken Mello died? Somebody just messaged me now. Like, oh my God, I got this breaking news. Bitch, you don't think I knew about it like right away? You don't think I heard about that? I'm like the first one. You don't need to. I know that. I'm very aware that Ken Mello died. I'm not surprised that Ken Mello died. He was sick for a long time. What do you want me to go do what I did with Brian Riccio? I'm not doing that. I have no comment on the matter. Nothing. I have nothing to say. All I'll say is that when Ken Mello on Christmas, right, plotted to put me in jail and take me away from my kids for something that he knew I didn't do, for something that he, literally took part in, right? I don't think he gave really a shit about the effect that was having on my family at all. That's all. I didn't know Ken Mello. That's all I know. He's just the guy that seemed to take pleasure in putting me in jail at Christmas and taking me away from my kids. That's the only thing I know about Ken Mello. I don't know him as a person. I didn't know his family. I don't know any of that shit. I knew him as, for one thing, the guy that stood there when I was waiting and filed a motion to have my bail revoked, right? And was like, yes, Your Honor, he's dangerous. He's a dangerous person. And I knew that I wasn't. And I knew that that was all a lie. And I know that the judge believed him because the judge put me in jail. That's my interaction with Ken Mello. I have nothing else to say about that. So, yes, I'm aware he's dead. That's the only thing I knew about him. I didn't know him as a person. Maybe he did great things earlier on in his life. I don't know. That was the totality of my interaction with Ken Mello. So I have nothing to say about that. Anyway, next. Let's see if we have any more callers. Piney Woods has been here for a while. Piney Woods, we got to be quick here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Long-time listener, first-time caller, I guess. And I would put myself in the camp of Runkle and Lawyer and Bob Mata because I'm mostly looking at this from a lawyer's perspective. And Olivia was spot on. The only question before this jury is whether Ms. Clancy was in a psychotic state such that she could not appreciate the nature of what she was doing. And I'm also a mom and a grandmom. So to me, that's the only issue. And the thing that I'm the most frustrated about is I want the state to put on their case, but there are ways to put on a case. That all I'm saying is, there's a way to be a person. And those prosecutors are not showing that they have a big picture viewpoint of what's happening in either the courtroom or at the time of the killings. And it's so unfortunate to watch that. I hate seeing bad lawyer and that's all they're doing. As opposed to maybe taking Mr. Reddington at his client's request and just accept that she stipulates she did it. And not present all this horrible, horrible evidence that is not necessary to prove the point that they're trying to make, which should be that she was not, the prosecutor should be arguing that she was not psychotic at the time she killed her children, right? They should be putting on evidence to support that. And instead, they're putting on a lot of emotionally charged evidence, autopsy pictures, all of that.
Aren't they trying to show, they're trying to get the jury not to like her because they're trying to get the jury to convict her, aren't they? Isn't that their job?
No. Their job is to seek justice without fear or favor. Their job is not to try and present evidence to sway the emotion or the heart or anything about the jury. And I feel like this could have been handled by the state in a much more efficient and in a much more data-driven way. And instead, they're seeking conviction. They're seeking to sway with emotion and prejudice and horror. I mean, these killings were horrible. And it will affect most anybody who's watched this for years to come. But that's not the goal of the prosecutor. The goal of the prosecutor is to seek justice on behalf of the people of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And in doing that, they fight a righteous fight. And they're not doing that, which is unfortunate. I know, I'm acquainted with the lawyer who defended Andrew Yates. His name is George Parnham. Great guy, probably one of the best lawyers in Texas. And the prosecutors worked with him. And so when she got another trial, they said, okay, we're just going to focus on was she psychotic at the time she drowned her children. And I think that we could just focus on the legal issue extant, which only is at the time she killed those children, which she admits to doing, for whatever reason, for being over medicated or being in postpartum psychosis or whatever it was, the Commonwealth needs to prove that she was. And instead, they're just proving that it was horrible. And it was horrible. But that's not the issue before the court. And so I guess I put myself in more of a lawyer camp. But, you know, I'm a mom. It seems unthinkable to most moms, I think, that they could ever come there, get to that point. But I also have an open mind. If this woman is telling person after person after person, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm having intrusive thoughts. I'm having suicidal ideation. I'm having all of these things. And they're saying, well, the line is she didn't have a plan. And so we can't help you. That seems to me barbaric. But I mean, if everybody just focuses on the evidence, it's so hard to do, to focus on the evidence when what you're getting from one side, really from both sides. I mean, I think Mr. Reddington's doing a great job, but he's spitting facts. The state is not doing that. Or the Commonwealth, pardon me. I'm in Texas and Louisiana, so
I could tell.
Yeah. But I wanted to really thank you too for opening up the lines for people to speak.
My pleasure, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, I just think it's great to have people talking about this. If one good thing, I mean, obviously nothing good has happened so far, but if one good thing comes out of this trial, it'll be, hey, there's a discussion to be had around women's health and in particular postpartum health. And if that happens, no matter what happens in the court,
what about men's health?
Men's health is very important.
Doesn't sound that important. No one's having this conversation about men's health. Like a lot.
Yeah, that's because no man is on trial right now for and claiming.
No man with PTSD has ever killed anyone?
Oh, they definitely have.
So how come we haven't had this conversation in any of those?
This conversation has been had in many a courtroom. John Lennon's killer was not guilty by reason of insanity. It's happened for years. But the difference is, and what I think I put it in your chat, the difference is that we talk about men's health as, and I think that men maybe don't realize it because we've always talked about what's wrong with that guy, what happened to that guy, or whatever, and people aren't really talking about women's health. And if this makes that happen, then maybe we can someday reach parity with all the discussions around men's health, like PTSD post-war or something, you know, and which they've been talking about since World War I with guys. So I think I think that there will be a reckoning of sorts. And I don't know. I haven't heard from the experts, and I'm not a doctor. I'm just a lawyer. But maybe the experts will help us figure it out.
Mhm.
And so I don't know what the answer is. I do feel for her. I personally think that this was probably a postpartum psychosis driven act, but I don't know that.
Mhm.
And I'd have to wait and hear from experts that know how to discern that. I don't know how to discern that. But I so appreciate you opening up the lines and letting folks talk about it. And I wanted to say, God love you with your earache. I know how painful that is. They're
Been
awful.
tough. It's been tough. Oh.
So be well, and thank you for letting me talk.
All right. Thanks for coming on now. You're great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I could listen to her talk all night, huh? Okay, cool. Well, look I appreciate all the call-ins, but my ears starting to act up, so I'm gonna end the spaces now. But I appreciate all the call-ins, guys. I'm just gonna bang this out and this one. Sorry, I apologize. All right. So yeah, because my ears starting to hurt again. I got too heavy. Maybe doing this show is a mistake. I don't know, but I think I'll be okay. It's not like crazy pain like it has been in the past. So hopefully let's get through the night and we'll be good. But yeah, there's, Ben, real quick, be like, I got to take a leak real quick too. So I'm going to play a video for you real quick. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. What's a good video I can play here? Oh, the food. Yeah.
A lot of stories about the supporters for Karen Read outside of the courthouse. Well, for the very first time, protesters who think Karen Read is guilty showed up today. As WBZ's Piney Woods shows us, the small group is facing off against the dozens of Read supporters.
The feeling of disappointment left hanging in the air after news spread of a potentially hung jury in the Karen Read murder trial. Her supporters left questioning why a unanimous not guilty verdict hasn't been reached by now.
She'll have to live the rest of her life, always with the possibility of retrying this whole thing. This whole thing never even should have gone to trial.
And just about an hour after the judge sent the jury back for more deliberations, something happened that we've never seen before in this trial. A group of counter-protesters showed up who believe that Karen Read is guilty.
A murder trial is not a recreational event.
The five-person group stormed through a crowd of pink, claiming to know John 𝗃𝗄𝗄's family, but wouldn't say to what extent. They accused Karen Read supporters of treating a murder trial like a party and making up lies about the 𝗃𝗄𝗄 family.
Maybe, just maybe, we should let the family grieve in peace.
The anti-Karen Read protesters told me they were mobilized after an incident yesterday when Dedham police say several free Karen Read supporters showed up to the 𝗃𝗄𝗄 family's private gathering spot and tried to enter. They left without incident.
It is absurd, it is disgusting, and it needs to stop.
But now both sides are left waiting, each hopeful for a drastically different outcome. And you can say with confidence you think Karen Read killed John 𝗃𝗄𝗄.
She admitted it.
Karen Read was framed, and it's time. It's time. So if this jury cannot come back with the verdict of not guilty and is hung, because they never will come back with a guilty verdict. Never.
In Dedham, I'm Piney Woods, WBZ News.
All right, we're back. I don't need that. All right. Sorry. I don't have it in me tonight, like the whole energy thing that I normally have. But yeah. Anyway, the food stamp 5, that was great, huh? All right. So real quick, right? You guys might like, it's interesting. This Clancy trial is going on. It's like all over. I mean, this is huge, this story. But like, so it's if you guys aren't, I got a lot going on with my other legal shit with New Jersey and stuff. Luckily that my lawyers are doing such a great job with that. If you guys haven't read, Brother Counsel covered it today. Everyone should go watch it. The latest Bedero letter. It was shocking. Like not like outrageous. Let's just put it that way. Outrageous. What we were asked to do. That I was basically asked to take down a post that had no words on it. It was just a posting of a letter that we sent to the prosecutor's office that I posted. And we were told basically, take it down, tell them to take it down. Cause we're embarrassed by this, that this is against the law for him to post that. And we might charge him with something else if he doesn't take this down. That's kind of what they told me. And it's just outrageous. And I know the Clancy trial is going on, so a lot of people aren't paying attention to this shit. But it is. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So anyway, that whole thing is just, luckily the longer this goes on, it has been 3 weeks now since I was indicted for nonsense, for cyber harassment. And people are like, what happened? Like, what is the charge? Nothing. I went on my show and I said mean words about somebody, and they're like, that's cyber harassment. And they're like, is there more to that? Did you email? No, nothing. To my knowledge, I've not even been accused of that. Literally just my words on the show calling someone. No, I did not take it down. I don't give in to tyrants. I don't live in the state of New Jersey. The day that I allow some tyrant in another state to tell me what I'm allowed to post, they think that they can just indict me on nothing. And then I'm not going to discuss it, and I'm just going to cover it up for them too. No, that's not the way things are going to work. Well, it'll affect my reputation. Well, then don't indict innocent people for nothing. How about that? I mean, it was a literal threat. So I don't give in to threats. And let's talk about witness intimidation. So it has come out so a whole bunch of people have come forward, right, and given us information or screenshots of their messages with Lindsay Clancy. Okay. And these messages, they're outlined in the Federal letters. We've had 4 or 5 people come forward, and a couple of them who previously had issues with me, have come forward and said, here's what she was saying. And these are people who didn't like me before, who I've said mean things about. And one of them is 𝗃𝗍. Okay. And we all know that I've said very unflattering things about 𝗃𝗍 on my platform. And I think it was right after the trial where I was critical of the way 𝗃𝗍 handled it. You know what I mean? Her coming out of court, stuff like that. And I said what I said. Okay. And, had unflattering things to say. Now, let's just say my ex-girlfriend at the time was hated 𝗃𝗍. Okay. And that's of course 5150. She hated 𝗃𝗍, and she made this account, 𝗃𝗍, what was it? The 𝗃𝗍 read account. I forget what it was called. And it mocked 𝗃𝗍. Now, I had nothing to do with that account. It was her and Altman that ran that account. Did I know that they ran that account? Yes. I was well aware. Did I have a login or ever use it? No. I had no idea. Okay. However, did I find it funny at times? Guilty as charged. Okay. But I had nothing to do with that account. And the only reason, 𝗃𝗍, that's what it was called. The only reason that I started developing said negative things about 𝗃𝗍 was when she emailed my lawyer about it. Remember that? That's what pissed me off about it. So whatever. I said some negative things about 𝗃𝗍, whatever. I might even said I hated her. I don't even remember all the things I said about 𝗃𝗍. But I don't do fake apologies. So I'm not going to sit up here and be like, I'm sorry, 𝗃𝗍. I'm not going to do any of that shit. I haven't done any of that shit. Right. And nor should she, because so 𝗃𝗍, who I'm not friends with, who, I don't really talk to very much, contacted me and told me that I've been in touch with this person, and what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and that this person, Lindsay clancy, has said in messages, right? I forget some of the things in there, like basically that, like, I don't know if it was with her or with somebody else, where she said that, like, my goal was to get Paul not to testify, and it worked, and I didn't even get any credit for it, or something like that, and all this stuff, and pretending to have, I don't know, go read the Bedero letters. They're pretty crazy, the stuff that's in there. Anyway, all Esty did was come forward and say, here's what she said. Okay. And we included those in the Bedero letter. We cited some of them because it shows that she's a liar. Okay. And I have a right to defense. And Esty didn't have to do that, but she chose to. I didn't ask her to do that. She offered that. I offered her nothing in return. Okay. And she didn't ask for anything in return, to be very clear. Right. I haven't really talked about her in months and months and months. So you can't even be like, well, he let up about her. I haven't been going at her. You know what I mean? Like, when's the last time I mentioned Esty on here in a negative way? I'm not, right? I said what I said about her, and she moved on with her life. Okay. And she doesn't talk about me, and she didn't develop full-fledged turtle boy derangement syndrome or anything like that. Okay. And so she came forward and offered this stuff anonymously. And of course, LS was then well aware of this because she knows that, oh, I remember I sent that message to Esty. And now, through third parties, she is releasing other messages that Esty sent and stuff like that were negative towards me. And I guess, what is this supposed to make me dislike her? Be like, wow, I don't care. It's what I would expect she would say. And I have told Esty this, that, like, she said she was sorry. I'm like, you don't have to be sorry. I'm like, you didn't do anything wrong. Like, you had every right to be pissed at me. I would expect that you would say stuff like that in private. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, I said things about you publicly, I guess one of the things was that she tried to get an order on me. I had no idea, because she failed. And you know why she failed? Because she told the truth in court. Because what I had done, the things I said about her don't get you orders. In order to get an order on me, you have to do what 5150 did. You have to lie. That's the only way to get a temporary order, is lying, right? That's what Krusty's kid had to do. That's what others have done that have gotten temporary ones that then fall apart at the two-party hearing. And so she got told, like, oh, yeah, you can go and get one on him. It'll be a good idea. Turns out it wasn't. So, and like, so what, like, who cares? To me, she should be commended for this, because she's able to put her personal history with me aside and just realize what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and told the truth. And that should be commended. And now what's happening to her as a result of that? They're attacking her. Why? Retaliation. They're mad because she's telling the truth. And so the next time these people talk about, like, witness intimidation or whatever, whatever, like, whenever somebody says something like that, just remember, the only people who are trying to do that are the people who are adversarial to me. The McAlberts were the biggest witness intimidators of all of them. Chris Albert tried to get Tom Beatty to lie about Colin calling his daughter that night at 12:33 a.m. 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗆 is on video telling Tom Beatty to leave. Go be by yourself, loser. Why? Because he said the wrong thing. He had the wrong opinion. He told the truth. They don't like that. They don't like when you tell the truth. They like when you lie. Okay. And when you tell the truth, they retaliate against you. They try to harm you. All right. And these are the same people crying about witness intimidation. And it's nonsense. So good for Esty. Again, I don't do the whole we're best friend thing now. Like, I think it's so disingenuous when people do that. Like, you know, examples like Altman, people like her, like Jim Altman, right? Jim Altman for years, shit all over Krusty and any other people who were adversarial to me. And then she get mad at me. And instead of just being like an adult, a mature adult, and saying, okay, I don't like Aidan now, but I also am not going to go and break bread with all these scumbags. No. Had to immediately go like, we're best friends with all the enemies now, with all the people that I said horrible things about. I'm not going to humiliate myself. Like, I would never do that. And I don't want 𝗼𝗄𝗃 to do that. I don't want her to be like, actually, Aidan is my best friend now. And me be like, 𝗼𝗄𝗃 is my best friend now. And actually, I was totally wrong about everything. We don't need to do that. Like, mature adults can just be like, yeah, I said what I said. You know, I hurt you. And, you know, but then it stopped. And now we're not doing it anymore. And that's it. And we just move on with it. Like, that's what mature adults do. And some people can't do that. They have to be like, we're best friends now. We're going to go out and get dinner together and be best friends now. It's like, after I said all this horrible stuff about you, you can just be like neutral with them. Like, you can do that and be like, the truth still matters. The truth, and all these people who are like, you know, anyone who cares about the truth in this case, I mean, this is the most outrageous one, the New Jersey one. So anyway, we'll save that for another day. All right. Anybody else got any? Let me just read some turtle chats here. Hold on. All right. All right. Kathy sends $25 and goes, ear pain is the worst. I hope the ride is a huge moneymaker and everyone stays safe. Fuck them if they can't take a joke. Free Turtle Boy. Thank you so much, Kathy. Kim from Texas McMillan sends $20 and goes, I hope my hubby and I can come from Texas to your next show. You could call it the Dunce Caps. Hope you feel better soon. Been missing your bus stops. F the haters and keep up the good fight. I don't know if I'm going to do a bus stop tomorrow. This has actually been harder than I thought it would be. And my ears starting to hurt a lot again. So I'm going to be quick reading these, but I'm not sure if I'll do one tomorrow. But we'll see. Next. Jennifer sends $25, goes, can you give us some info on the Freedom Ride? Do we pay upon entry? Yes. I traveled all the way from Arizona to meet you and support my favorite freedom fighter. I spent the day screwing around in Canton today. I went to the waterfall for a meal of food and passed by D&E. I saw Chris Albert inside, sitting on his lonely chair and reading a newspaper. He had the saddest look at the feet, watching the people pass by his mediocre chicken parm shop without coming inside is the saddest thing I've ever seen. How about that? Yeah. I mean, as you guys saw, Chris Albert is not paying his bills. And he is, I don't know how much longer he's going to be there. So we'll see. Bob Brown sends $10, goes, Turtle Boy, there's no bringing those kids back. They are in God's hands. I can have empathy for Lindsay. If they set her free today, she has to live with that the rest of her life, with the memory of killing her kids. Who wants to be in her place? It's an unimaginable tragedy. Prayers for her and the children and her poor husband, Bob. That's so well thought out, Bob. Thanks. Shannon sends $5, goes, just wanted to say a lot of your questions about Clancy are answered in her malpractice lawsuit. Melanie went over it and answered a lot of questions for me personally. Well, thank God for Melanie. I'll go check that out. Thank you. Turtles 30 sends $5, goes, listen, Turtle, this is for all the retards and antis picking your ear issue apart. I've had a few in my recent years, kicked in the late 30s. I'm a year older than you now. I get it from cold water, winter surfing, and regular blah, 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 blah. That you can't fathom the pain and inescapable helplessness that you deal with. Yeah, exactly. It sucks. So anyway, Jennifer sends $50, goes, compare the witness intimidation statute. We know what you did. The why you did it is the relevant part. In Lindsay's case, we know what she did. Why she did it appears to be because the treatment for well-documented condition was not correct caused the psychotic break. She did not have the ability to know what she was doing wrong, so there could be no mens rea. Also, Lindsay stopped drinking in 2019. The prior caller was not correct about her drinking. Well, thank you for clearing that up. Ear Doctor sends $5, goes, so more than 75% of the women and Gen Z idiots on social media who think they are postpartum experts don't even know who the F Andrea Yates is if you ask them. And if you're one of those people now hearing this, go Google. Okay. Tina sends $5, goes, Dr. Marie 𝗲𝗄𝗧𝗧 is going to testify for the defense in 𝗃𝐶 case. Well, we love her. J Max sends $20, goes, wasn't expecting such a spicy show tonight. Eerie and all, pleasant surprise. Well, I wasn't really the spicy one. It's more the callers, so thank you. And we have Desiree sends $35, goes, hi, Turtle Boy. I hope you're on the road to a speedy recovery. I love how you're handling the Clancy topic. So many statements in chat, drinking, etc., were inaccurate. I think the question has to do with the ability to form criminal intent due to a psychotic break. The Commonwealth charges and refusal to stipulate make this unique. Check your Twitter interview for a short synopsis. Free Turtle Boy. Well, thank you very much, Desiree. All right, let me see if we have any cash apps here. All right. M sends $5 and goes, JM is doing a panel tomorrow night on the exit interview. Oh, yeah, we give a shit. I mean, whatever. The more I'm listening to her old shit, the more, like, we're going to have a good roast. Let's put it that way. I mean, wasn't she supposed to be covering this trial too? How'd that work out? Yeah. Oh, right. She's sick, right? She's so sick. She has, well, luckily the sickness occurred before the vacation and then after the vacation. Every day after the vacation, she's sick. She can't go in. No, she's just lazy. I mean, she's just the laziest slob ever. That's all. It's just work. She don't want to do work. She doesn't want to drive in. She doesn't want to wake up early. You know, she wants to get on her thing and talk that shit. That's all she wants to do. She's lazy. Her fat husband is lazy. Like, they're all lazy. She's just a lazy slob who has convinced people that she has made it in life by her hard work. She is not. She's a person getting her car repoed in September of 2023. 47 years old. Getting her car taken away from her because she can't pay the bills. And by the way, she's married. For some reason, her husband, I assume they have a joint bank account, also couldn't pay the bills. What kind of man is that? Husband is that? Your wife's getting her car repo, bro? But he could kick my ass. 2 punches. That is white trash. That's what that is. White trash. If you can't pay your bills and you're getting your car repoed and taken away from you, right? And your response to anything is, well, I'll kick your fucking ass, bro. You are white trash. And eventually that's where we have to come to the conclusion. That's what Machado is. Like, she's a person who tweets well in court. Okay. We've seen it. She kind of fooled a lot of us. At the end of the day, that's what she is. White trash who can't hold the job and used me. And we're going to see this. I am going to prove this. I'm going to show you exactly how she used her relationship with me to enrich herself. That's all it was. The reason she is able to earn a living driving around, yelling into a phone is because of me. Because she monetized her relationship with me. That's it. And we're going to prove this. I challenge anybody, because I've started to do this. Go back through her streams, okay? Starting from day one. And I've started to do this. I just started doing this on a whim today. You want to see this? Check this out. So I actually went back and I was kind of curious about it. And so I'm like, you can search for words in the transcripts now. Okay. And you can see how many times is Aidan. It comes up Aidan, And if you, how many times am I mentioned by her? Now I understand one of her kids has a boyfriend named Aidan. So I factored that in. I'm like, anytime she mentions her kid and Aidan, that doesn't count. So I actually, this is through just a handful of, we're going backwards in time. Okay. This is how many times my name is mentioned in various episodes. And I'm going to set up a little chart here. You're going to see the correlation of views are proportionate to the amount of times I'm mentioned. But the entire, it's actually interesting to go back and look at it and see that the entire brand is built off a relationship with me. Had she not become my champion, I guess, out there, oh, I wrote about you when no one else would, all that stuff. Had she not done that, was, she's like, I did all this. Yes, with all that, without doing that, you're nothing. Without doing that, you're a person getting your car repoed. That's what you are. I made you, like literally, like without me, you don't have a job. You don't have a living. If Turtle Boy did not exist, none of you would know who 𝗄𝗲 Machado is. None of you. That's just an undeniable fact. It is a fact. Prison Misty would have zero idea. Moons over whatever would have zero idea who 𝗄𝗲 Machado is at all. At all. That's just, and no one can deny that. No one can argue that. It is an undeniable fact. Look at this. Okay. Episodes 30, 11, 45, 6, 0 on this one that had less than 2,000 views. 36, 17, 0, 19, 66, 45, 7, 46, 4, 56, 1, 2, 9, 8, 2, 7, 1, 3, 38. And this one, she mentioned me twice, but what'd she say? 4. But she, as she said, I've gotten 600 new followers because of Aidan shouting me out. Yes. 64, 38, 80, 14, 35, 6, 40, 13, 22, 51, 48. And I've just started. I think I'm like a couple months in. But totally built it independent of me. Totally. All right. Anyway, like the Turtle Boy Industrial Complex is profitable. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. You can be adversarial to me, or you could be, you know, it is what it is, or supportive, whatever. But anyway, that's that. Let me see. What do we have over here? We got Allison says, hope you're back. Happy you're back, Turtle Boy. Hope you're feeling better. I'm still a little sick now. Mary B, new YouTube member. Thanks for joining, dear. Look at this one. McMuffin, 50 memberships. Holy shiznits. Thank you so much. Congrats to the winners, and don't forget to renew. The Teachers Lounge, that's what Jimmy calls our members only talk shit streams. I'll be cheering you on from Oklahoma. Thank you so much. Turtle Boy Teachers and Sea Creatures. Okay. Jojo says both things can be true. She took their life, their mental psychosis, and guess what? It's a free country. We can all voice our opinion. Exactly. Cassie Baby says if you boil this case down, this trial is to see what building she'll be in for the rest of her life. But the conversation about the system is important. It is. I agree. I agree with that one. They are debating where she does time, not if she did it. No one, even her, is saying otherwise. True. Liz Miz says she's despicable for killing her kids, and she didn't intend to kill them. Both can be true. The issue is most people don't believe PPD is real. I think most people do. But Salty Mom says, how can we hold her accountable for changing meds if she was not thinking clearly? I'm telling you, she's going to be acquitted just based on the comments alone. Where are the men? Where are the men? Where are the men? Yes. Or Jenna, I get to see what you did there. Thank you. Okay. All right. Anyway, I guess we will call it a night. But yeah, we'll see you guys all for, hopefully, we'll see if we do Sex Cult tomorrow. I should be able to do it. I might have fucked up by going live tonight because I'm not feeling that good right now. So anyway, we'll talk soon. All right. 𝗵𝗵 𝗧𝘂𝗶𝘂𝗺. And don't forget to brush your teeth, all right? Howdy.
Tick, 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 boom. Tick, 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 boom. Tick, 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 boom. Pressure build, detonate. Tick, boom. Too late now, can't moderate. Tick, just give me flash. Let's go. Everybody talking, nobody compose. You should've just let me be, but nah, you knew what I do. Who I am. You know who I am. Tick, tick, tick. Robbing and weaving where you telegraph hate. Flash bows pop every time I breathe. Whole world watching, enjoy no front row seats. Say my name, watch the algorithm screen. Turtle boy. You drama sales on the fumes on my pike tails. Free clickbait for all the mirror ultimate. Bum for town clownies. Better all town clownies in the cheap seats. I built this house, you built noise, I built proof. Woo. Time to raise this roof. Time to expose the hard truth. Now the spotlight stuck on you. Oh, po baby boo. Tick, 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 boom. Truth hit the wrong. Stand clear. Tick, boom. Funny now, they fear. Tick, boom. Flash bulbs. No, no escape.